Chapter 3349. Amethyst Fog Sea. Under Jian Wushuang's personal leadership, the 6th patrol team arrived at the second heaven in the shortest time. When they arrived at the border of the Amethyst Fog Sea, the temporal temple was the first to discover that several immortal saints from the mystic realm of heaven and earth were already waiting for them. The person in the lead happened to be an acquaintance of Jian Wushuang. "Haha, brother heavenly Marquis." A hearty laughter rang out as a burly man in red armor walked up to Jian Wushuang. "You long time no see." Jian Wushuang also revealed a smile. You have to call me Inspector now." Another person walked over. "Duan Lang, you're here too?" Jian Wushuang looked at him. Duan Lang and Yu had gone to the Blood Wave world with him before, so they had a good relationship, especially Duan Lang. When Jian Wushuang had just received the quota to go to the Blood Wave realm, Duan Lang had fought with Jian Wushuang because he was not convinced. Originally, both Duan Lang and Yu were not far from Jian Wushuang. However, after the trip to the Blood Wave realm, Jian Wushuang had become a top expert in the Divine Beginning realm. He was well known throughout the world and was extremely famous. Soon after arriving at the Spacetime Temple, he was appointed as an inspector. Yu and Duan Lang were also aware of this news. "Di Hao, Chen Hongzi and Fei Xue, where are they?" Jian Wushuang asked with a smile. "Among the 6 people who went to the Blood Wave Temple with us, Di Hao has become a Principal's Master. Although you haven't made a breakthrough, your battle strength is stronger than Di Hao's. You're not on the same level as us." As for Chen Hongzi and Fei Xue, Chen Hongzi has been in closed-door cultivation since he came back from the Blood Wave realm. He hasn't come out until now. Fei Xue has gone out alone. Yu and one are fine. We just happened to get a token from the Amethyst Demon Sect, so we came here to take a look. "I didn't expect to encounter such a thing," Duan Lang said. "As for the people of the Carefree Mansion, although they have occupied the secret realm, it is very stable. If I'm not wrong, to open the secret realm, not only do they need the help of several Principal's Masters, but they also need the help of the token. Although there are enough Principal's Masters in the Carefree Mansion, they cannot enter the secret realm without the token. That is to say, no one has been able to enter the mystic realm of heaven and earth until now. Even if it's really the resources and wealth accumulated by the Amethyst Demon Sect over a long period of time, no one has been able to get into it?" Jian Wushuang's eyes lit up. "That's right." Duan Lang nodded. "Ah, that's great. The Carefree Mansion thought that they would chase you away and then immediately enter the mystic realm of heaven and earth to search for treasures. By then, even if the experts of the Temporal Temple arrived, they would have already looted all the treasures in the mystic realm of heaven and earth, so they could completely deny it. It's a good idea, but unfortunately without the token they can't enter the mystic realm of heaven and earth. They are doomed to fail." Jian Wushuang smiled. "Duan Lang, do you remember how to get to the mystic realm of heaven and earth?" Jian Wushuang looked at Duan Lang. "Of course I do." Duan Lang nodded. "Well, you and Yu lead the way. Let's go and meet the people of the Carefree Mansion." Jian Wushuang said with a smile. "Okay." Duan Lang and Yu were very excited. They were reluctant when they were chased away by the people of the Carefree Mansion. They were also very angry and aggrieved. Now, when Jian Wushuang's patrol team finally arrived, they naturally wanted to go to the mystic realm of heaven and earth to get back at them. Under the guidance of Duan Lang and Yu, the group directly entered the Amethyst Fog Sea and quickly flew toward the mystic realm of heaven and earth. Before long, they had arrived at the mystic realm of heaven and earth. Jian Wushuang had also sensed the existence of the experts of Carefree Mansion. Chapter 3350. Acquaintances. The Amethyst Fog Sea, which had calmed down a long time ago, became restless again because of the appearance of the secret realm of heaven and earth. A large amount of hazy purple fog filled every corner of the world. In the center of the Amethyst Fog Sea, a complete secret realm of heaven and earth had appeared in front of the world. At this moment, around this secret realm of heaven and earth, many experts from the Xiaoyao mansion were gathered there, with 2 people in the lead. "Damn it, what's going on with this secret realm of heaven and earth?" The 6 Principal's Masters of the Xiaoyao mansion attacked at the same time, but they were actually unable to open this secret realm of heaven and earth? A handsome young man wearing a luxurious silver robe secretly gritted his teeth. His expression was also quite unsightly. This secret realm is different from ordinary secret realms. Not only does it have secret realm defensive methods, but most importantly, it is also covered with a layer of special restriction. The level of this restriction is extremely high. Unless there is an expert of the 5th or 6th level of the void, it would be too difficult for us to break this restriction by ourselves, the long-browed elder with narrowed eyes said. "Have you asked the person who sent us the message?" The handsome young man asked. "Yes, I have." According to him, he was only invited by the peak saints to lead the way here because he was familiar with the Amethyst Fog Sea. As for the purpose of the peak saints, he didn't know. Later, when the secret realm of heaven and earth was born, he thought that the peak saints were just lucky, so he sent us the message without thinking too much, the long-browed old man explained in a deep voice. From the looks of it, those peak saints shouldn't be that simple. They might have come to the Amethyst Fog Sea to look for opportunities, and they might even have a special token to open this heaven and earth secret realm. Bastard, if I knew this would happen, I wouldn't have let those people go, the handsome man cursed. Young master, no matter what, those people are from the temporal temple. They have already told us their identities. The temporal temple knows that they are here. Now that we have forcefully occupied this secret realm, we have already offended the temporal temple. If we force those peak saints to stay and force or kill them, we will have completely offended the temporal temple. There is nothing we can do to let them go, the long-browed elder said. Humph, the temporal temple? The handsome man's eyes were cold. However, when he thought about the difference in strength between the Xiaoyao mansion and the temporal temple, he felt helpless. Without the token, we won't be able to open this heaven and earth secret realm. Doesn't that mean that not only did we come all the way here for nothing, but we've also offended the temporal temple? The handsome man said. That's right. But it's still too early to say that. After all, the heaven and earth secret realm is still in our hands. Before the experts of the temporal temple arrive, we can think of ways to open the heaven and earth secret realm. For example, we can invite experts above the 5th level of the void realm to open the heaven and earth secret realm by force. Or we can invite master-level experts who are good at restraining arrays. It's also possible to open the heaven and earth secret realm. The long-browed elder said. Many people were still talking about the astonishing achievements of Heavenly Sword Marquis on the Saha Island. He was a super figure who had fought head-on against the Flame Saint Master and the Sorcerer God and severely injured them. A man's life was like the shadow of a tree. Even the Principal's Master could not calm down after hearing the name of Heavenly Sword Marquis. Young Master Xiaoyao, long time no see. Jian Wushuang looked at the handsome man with a teasing smile. That's right, the handsome man was young Master Xiaoyao, the #1 genius of Xiaoyao Mansion and the personal disciple of the Mansion Master of Xiaoyao Mansion. However, hundreds of years had passed and young Master Xiaoyao was still a saint. He was no longer comparable to Jian Wushuang. Jian, Heavenly Sword Marquis, what are you doing here? Master Xiaoyao asked, suppressing the fear in his heart. What? Jian Wushuang smiled. I'm now the 6th inspector of the temporal temple. I'm leading the 6th patrol team to fight for the temporal temple. Don't you know why I'm leading the patrol team to the Amethyst Fog Sea? Master Xiaoyao's face was gloomy. Of course he knew why Jian Wushuang came, but he could not say it right away. Master Xiaoyao, the secret realm behind you was found by the people of the temporal temple. After finding it, your Xiaoyao mansion immediately sent experts to chase away our people and take the secret realm for yourself. Isn't that a bit too overbearing? Or do you think my temporal temple is easy to bully? Jian Wushuang shouted coldly. Master Xiaoyao's body trembled. Before he could speak, the long-browed elder beside him immediately said, Mr. Heavenly Marquis, I'm afraid there's a misunderstanding. How dare my Xiaoyao mansion disrespect the temporal temple? Chapter 3351. Attack, you are Shirin Master of Xiaoyao Mansion, right? Jian Wushuang glanced at the long-browed elder. I heard that you are the strongest person in Xiaoyao Mansion besides Marquis Xiaoyao. Your words should be able to represent Xiaoyao Mansion. However, you just said that it was a misunderstanding. Hope you can explain it clearly. What kind of misunderstanding? Jian Wushuang had already obtained information about many experts of the Xiaoyao Mansion on his way here because he knew that he was facing the Xiaoyao Mansion. Of course, he also knew about the long-browed elder, Master Shirin. Master Shirin was a very strong expert of the 3rd realm of the void. It was said that his battle strength had reached the peak of the 3rd realm of the void. In the Xiaoyao Mansion, his strength was only slightly weaker than Marquis Xiaoyao. Mr. Heavenly Marquis, at first, our Xiaoyao Mansion didn't know that those little guys were from your temporal temple. Later, although they revealed their identities, they only revealed their movement skills and didn't show anything to prove it. Mr. Heavenly Marquis, you also know that in the divine beginning realm, especially in times of crisis, it's common for people to pretend to be disciples of big sections. Our Xiaoyao Mansion has encountered this many times before, Master Shirin said, before he could finish his words. So, you just chased away the people of the temporal temple? Jian Wushuang looked over. Mr. Heavenly Marquis, the Amethyst Fog Sea is the territory of our Xiaoyao Mansion. Before we can confirm the identities of these little guys, We have to ensure that the secret realm of heaven and earth is not occupied in advance, Master Shireen said. Master Shireen, there is indeed a misunderstanding. Now that I have personally shown up and proved that the immortal saints are from our temporal temple, you should be able to return the secret realm to us, right? Jian Wushuang said with a smile. Return? Master Shireen was stunned. Jian Wushuang used the word return to express his position. It meant that the secret realm was first discovered by the temporal temple, which meant that it belonged to the temporal temple. The Xiaoyao mansion was only temporarily in charge of the temporal temple. Now that the temporal temple had sent people, the Xiaoyao mansion had to leave immediately? Although this was reasonable, if they were to leave just like that, they would be too unwilling. Mr. Heavenly Marquis, no matter what, the Amethyst Fog Sea is the territory of our Xiaoyao mansion. This is our territory, and our Xiaoyao mansion is one of the top overlords in the second heaven. It's a top force even in the divine beginning realm. Mr. Heavenly Marquis, aren't you going too far by not giving our Xiaoyao mansion face? Master Shireen said. Too much? Haha, so what if I'm too much for a mere Xiaoyao mansion? Do you really think that the temporal temple is easy to bully by snatching our things and chasing our people away? Jian Wushuang gave a hearty smile, then he gave a direct order. Sergeants, listen up. Kill them and take back the secret realm of heaven and earth. Anyone who dares to stop us will be killed without mercy. Kin. Haha, brothers, kill them? How dare a mere Xiaoyao mansion steal from the temporal temple? They are courting death. The 6th Patrol Team, 10 Principals Masters, 100 Peak Saints, Yu Duan Lang, and a few others swarmed out after hearing Jian Wushuang's order. They did not give the Xiaoyao mansion any chance at all. Seeing Jian Wushuang's order to attack and the many experts charging at the same time, the people of the Xiaoyao mansion were shocked. Oh no! Master Shireen's expression also changed drastically. He looked at Master Xiaoyao and said, Master, step back first. The others stopped them. Chapter 3352, Marquis Xiaoyao arrives. Boom. As powerful auras rose, the patrol team of the temporal temple and the experts of Xiaoyao mansion immediately engaged in a fierce battle. Sword Heaven Marquis, you are too much. This is the territory of our Xiaoyao mansion. You are not allowed to be presumptuous. Master Shireen shouted. As soon as he finished his words, a thick aura rose from his body. It carried the pressure of the peak of the third realm of the void and directly pressed toward Jian Wushuang. Master Shireen also rushed toward Jian Wushuang at the first moment. Too far. Jian Wushuang smiled coldly. When he saw Master Shireen coming toward him, his aura suddenly soared, and he activated his life divine power. At the same time he also used the heaven-cleaving skill. Jian Wushuang, who had mastered 2 parts of the will, could rival the 3 realms of the void after using his life divine power. Once he used the heaven-cleaving skill, he could reach the level of the 4 realms of the void. It was the peerless sword technique Shixiang. Whoosh! A scarlet sword light with extreme violence swept out in an instant. Like a blood-red thunderbolt, it directly crushed toward Master Shireen, who was rushing toward him. Master Shireen took out a huge hammer. The 2 principles of earth and lightning pervaded this huge hammer. Even though they had yet to fuse together, its power was still exceptionally shocking. Hong Long Long, this huge hammer instantly magnified under Master Shireen's control. For a moment, it blotted out the sky and blotted out the sun. In an instant, it collided head-on with that blood-red bolt of lightning. The sky collapsed and the earth cracked. At this moment, the entire void trembled. At the same time, numerous spatial cracks that spread over 10 meters spread out crazily like a spider web. So terrifying. The spatial cracks spread over 10 meters? It's too powerful. We have to be careful. We must not be dragged into it. The principal's masters and many immortal saints on the battlefield were all pale and shocked when they saw the crazed space crack. In the center of the space crack, puff. Master Shireen spat out a mouthful of blood. His face was pale and his aura instantly became weak. He was forced back in a sorry state. It took him a long time to regain his balance. Void, the 4th realm of the void? After regaining his balance, Master Shireen looked at Jian Wushuang in shock. His heart was in turmoil. How is this possible? The strength that Heavenly Sword Marquis displayed in the battle 400 years ago was not only at the 3rd realm of the void. Although he fought against the Master of the Saint Realm, everyone knew that he used a very powerful trump card. But now, he hasn't used any trump cards and his battle strength has already reached the 4th realm of the void realm? Master Shireen did not expect that Jian Wushuang's battle strength had already reached such a level. He had thought that if Jian Wushuang was at the 3rd realm of the void realm, he would be able to fight Jian Wushuang head-on or even suppress him, then he could wait for their mansion master to come, but now, Master Shireen, get lost. Otherwise, even if you are an expert in the third realm of the Void Realm, you will die here today. Jian Wushuang's cold voice echoed in the world, making Master Shireen's face even uglier. If you have problems with this website, please continue reading your novel on our new website MyBox Novel. Thanks. As a principal's master, he also had an immortal body, so his life-saving ability was stronger than that of the immortal saint. With Master Shireen's life-saving ability, it was almost impossible for an ordinary expert in the fourth realm of the Void Realm to kill him. However, Master Shireen did not have any confidence in facing Jian Wushuang. After all, Jian Wushuang was famous for having many trump cards and means. In the battle more than 400 years ago, he had revealed countless trump cards. Now, Jian Wushuang could easily crush him without using his trump cards. Once Jian Wushuang used his trump cards, he might really be able to kill him here. However, if he left just like that, he would not be able to give up the Heaven and Earth secret realm. And just when Master Shireen was in a dilemma. Heavenly Sword Marquis, right? Although you are an inspector of the Temporal Temple, what you have done today is too disrespectful to our Xiaoyao mansion, right? A deep voice suddenly came from the void not far away. Upon hearing this voice, young Master Xiaoyao, who was standing at the back of the battlefield, was immediately overjoyed. Master Shireen also heaved a sigh of relief as if a heavy burden had been lifted off his shoulders. Whoosh! A 2-meter-tall figure, who seemed to be strolling leisurely in the void, rushed over from the surrounding void and appeared in front of Jian Wushuang in an instant. This person was dressed in a silver tight suit. His long hair was flowing with a hint of silver gray, making him look rather ancient. He carried a 2-meter-long heavy sword on his back. Standing there, he gave off an extremely peculiar feeling. Lord Mansion Master. Master. Upon seeing the man, Master Shireen and Master Xiaoyao immediately bowed. Is he Marquis Xiaoyao? Jian Wushuang also looked at the long-haired man. Although the long-haired man was standing there, he gave Jian Wushuang an invisible pressure. It is said that Marquis Xiaoyao, the mansion master of Xiaoyao Mansion, became a rule master 20 million years ago. He went to the universe battlefield for a long time and got some opportunities. When he came back, he had the battle strength of the Void Fourth Realm. From then on, he took over the position of Mansion Master of Xiaoyao Mansion. In terms of strength, he is not the strongest among the experts of the Void Fourth Realm, but he is quite strong. Jian Wushuang recalled the information about Marquis Xiaoyao. Safe to say, this Xiaoyao Marquis is indeed a strong. He rose from now to become an overlord, is completely from the edge of life and death climbed up, not a trace of luck. With the appearance of Marquis Xiaoyao, the battle between the two sides stopped temporarily. The experts on both sides separated and retreated to the side. Jian Wushuang and Marquis Xiaoyao were still standing in the middle. Everyone's eyes were fixed on them, Didn't expect that you would be alarmed and come to the Amethyst Fog Sea, Marquis Xiaoyao. Jian Wushuang stood in the void with a sword in one hand and looked at Marquis Xiaoyao with interest. It can't be helped. The inspector of the Temporal Temple and Heavenly Sword Marquis, who is so famous in the Divine Beginning realm, have come to the Amethyst Fog Sea. As the mansion master of Xiaoyao Mansion, I have to welcome them personally, Marquis Xiaoyao said calmly. There's no need to welcome them. I'm sure you know about this matter, Marquis Xiaoyao. The secret realm in the Amethyst Fog Sea was discovered by the people of the Temporal Temple first, so it naturally belongs to us. I hope that the people of Mansion Xiaoyao can give up this secret realm, Jian Wushuang said directly. Chapter 3353. Negotiations. Heavenly Sword Marquis, the Amethyst Fog Sea has been under the control of our Xiaoyao Mansion all these years. Since this secret realm was born in the Amethyst Fog Sea, it should belong to our Xiaoyao Mansion. The one who should leave and give up this secret realm should be your Temporal Temple, said Marquis Xiaoyao. What a joke. The territory controlled by your Xiaoyao Mansion is so vast. If you say so, all the cultivators in this vast territory belong to your Xiaoyao Mansion, and all the opportunities are yours. But will the cultivators in this territory agree to it? Jian Wushuang sneered. Marquis Xiaoyao, it takes incredible luck to find a secret realm of heaven and earth hidden in the Amethyst Fog Sea. Your Xiaoyao Mansion has occupied the Amethyst Fog Sea for so many years, but you still couldn't find it. This means that your Xiaoyao Mansion is not fated with the secret realm of heaven and earth. So how can you ask for it? You are right. Marquis Xiaoyao nodded slightly. Our Xiaoyao Mansion has occupied this Amethyst Fog Sea for so many years, but we haven't been able to find this secret realm. Indeed, we shouldn't force it. However, even if your Temporal Temple finds this secret realm first, you might not be able to say that this secret realm belongs to your temporal temple. Don't forget, this secret realm was left behind by the former Amethyst Demon sect. The Amethyst Demon sect was a peak overlord of the Second Sky a long time ago. Back then, the one who destroyed the Amethyst Demon sect and turned the Amethyst Fog Sea into ruins was one of the three great Saint Realms, the Flame Saint Realm. After the Flame Saint Realm destroyed the Amethyst Demon sect, shouldn't the things left behind by the Amethyst Demon sect belong to the Flame Saint Lord? Marquis Xiaoyao laughed coldly. How about I send a message to the Flame Saint Realm and ask them to send experts over to discuss who will get the secret area? Jian Wushuang's expression changed. Only his own camp and the Xiaoyao mansion were involved in the fight for the secret area. The Temporal Temple had the absolute advantage against the Xiaoyao mansion, but if the Flame Saint Realm got involved, it would be completely different. Just as Marquis Xiaoyao had said, it was the Flame Saint Realm that destroyed the Amethyst Demon sect. In the end, the ownership of the mystic realm of heaven and earth belonged to the Saint Realm of Flame. Marquis Xiaoyao also saw the change in Jian Wushuang's expression. He immediately smiled and said, "Heavenly Sword Marquis, in my opinion, let's sit down and have a good talk. The Xiaoyao mansion doesn't expect to get all the treasures in the mystic realm of heaven and earth, but it's impossible for the Temporal Temple to monopolize them." "You're right. In that case, tell me what you want." Jian Wushuang looked at Marquis Xiaoyao calmly. "It's simple. No one has entered the secret realm. No one knows what's in it, but it might be the treasure left by the Amethyst Demon sect. No matter what's in it, our Xiaoyao mansion and your temporal temple will share half of it." Marquis Xiaoyao said. 50 to 502. Marquis Xiaoyao, what do you think? If your Xiaoyao mansion was in the Flame Saint Realm, we would be in the same situation since the Amethyst Demon sect was destroyed. But your Xiaoyao mansion, how can you say that we are 50 to 50? Jian Wushuang mocked him. Marquis Xiaoyao's eyes darkened. Of course, he knew that it was almost impossible for Xiaoyao mansion to share half of the treasures equally with the temporal temple. He was just hoping to get lucky he could ask for a sky-high price at the beginning. "How do you want to distribute the treasures in the secret realm?" Marquis Xiaoyao looked at him. "It's simple. The temporal temple will take 90% of the treasures in the secret realm, and your Xiaoyao mansion will take 10%. Jian Wushuang said. 10%? Impossible, that's too little. My Xiaoyao mansion will take at least 30%. Marquis Xiaoyao shouted. 30%? Jian Wushuang glanced at Marquis Xiaoyao. He could see that 30% was close to Marquis Xiaoyao's bottom line, but it was not the bottom line. 30% is too much. They'll give you 20% at most, Jian Wushuang said coldly. Marquis Xiaoyao's expression was uncertain, obviously hesitant. Jian Wushuang spoke again. Marquis Xiaoyao, 20% of the opportunity treasures is already a lot. If you don't want to, then there's no way to negotiate. We can only have a falling out. But before we fall out, you have to think carefully about how much power your Xiaoyao mansion has. You don't have any confidence against my temporal temple alone. If you really do as you say and let the Flame Saint Realm come and interfere, then what will happen to your Xiaoyao mansion? I'm afraid you won't be able to get anything out of it. If you have problems with this website, please continue reading your novel on our new website MyBox Novel. Thanks. Jian Wushuang's words made Marquis Xiaoyao frown. He was obviously talking about his weakness. He knew very well that Jian Wushuang was willing to talk to him and give him 20% of the opportunity treasures on behalf of the temporal temple. It was not because he was worried about the Xiaoyao mansion, but because he was worried about the Flame Saint Realm. He did not want the Flame Saint Realm to be involved in it. However, the Xiaoyao mansion was nothing in front of the temporal temple, not to mention the Flame Saint Realm. If he were to lose all decorum with Jian Wushuang and let the Flame Saint Realm get involved, then the mystic realm of heaven and earth would really have nothing to do with the Xiaoyao mansion. Jian Wushuang could see that Marquis Xiaoyao's heart was wavering, so he immediately spoke again. Marquis Xiaoyao, I know that you're very famous in the divine beginning realm and that you've grown up to be quite a legend. I admire you very much. I can make the decision on my own to give you 30% of the opportunities and treasures. Huh? Xiaoyao mansion immediately looked at Jian Wushuang and asked, What do you mean? It's simple. I've been cultivating in the Saha Island for more than 400 years and my strength has improved greatly. Now I'm in need of experts to practice with. I'm looking forward to your strength, so I want to fight you head-on. Jian Wushuang smiled. If you can defeat me in this battle, you'll get 30% of the opportunities and treasures for your Xiaoyao mansion. But if you lose, your Xiaoyao mansion will only get 20%. Moreover, after opening the secret realm of heaven and earth, the experts of your Xiaoyao mansion will have to obey the arrangement of my temporal temple. How about it? Are you serious? Can you really get 30% of the opportunities and treasures for my Xiaoyao mansion? Marquis Xiaoyao stared at Jian Wushuang with bright eyes. Of course I won't go back on my words. As for whether I can do it or not, you don't have to doubt it. Don't forget that I'm a Saint Realm Inspector of the Temporal Temple. My words carry some weight in the temple, Jian Wushuang said in a deep voice. Chapter 3354, Battle Marquis Xiaoyao. Okay, I'll bet with you. Marquis Xiaoyao agreed directly. In fact, when Jian Wushuang gave him 20% of the opportunity treasure, Marquis Xiaoyao had already wavered. Now, Jian Wushuang gave him a very promising opportunity to fight for 30% of the opportunity treasure. If Marquis Xiaoyao did not agree, it would be too tactless of him. Seeing Marquis Xiaoyao agree, Jian Wushuang immediately smiled. He did not lie. In the past 400 years, his strength had improved a lot, and he really wanted to fight with some real experts. In the camp, although he had defeated Master True Eyes and Master Shireen, both of them were only in the third realm of the void. It was difficult for him to put pressure on them now. He easily defeated them and did not have a chance to use his full strength, let alone some tricks or trump cards. However, Marquis Xiaoyao was a genuine expert in the fourth realm of the void. He was also a very strong expert in the fourth realm of the void. At the same time, he used a heavy sword as a weapon and specialized in sword principle. Such an expert was what Jian Wushuang yearned to fight. Therefore he used 10% more treasures as a bet to let Marquis Xiaoyao fight with him. Marquis Xiaoyao, I hope your strength won't disappoint me. Jian Wushuang licked his lips and said with a faint smile. I'll also want to see how powerful you are, as a Saint Realm expert who has made such a great name in the Divine Beginning Realm and is even known as the #1 genius in the history of the Divine Beginning Realm. Marquis Xiaoyao's face was cold. He stared at Jian Wushuang and said, I'm standing right here. Bring it on. As you wish. Jian Wushuang did not hesitate. He moved his body and made his move. The surrounding experts, whether they were the patrol guards or the experts of Xiaoyao Mansion, had already retreated to the side and made way for the huge battlefield. When they saw Jian Wushuang make his move, the experts were also looking forward to it. Who will win the battle between the inspector and Marquis Xiaoyao? Of course the inspector will win. It is said that Marquis Xiaoyao has reached the fourth void realm a long time ago and has been famous in the Divine Beginning Realm. Although the inspector hasn't been famous for a long time, he is more famous than Marquis Xiaoyao and is very strong. It will be interesting for them to fight. The experts of the patrol team were extremely excited as they watched the battle. Of course, as a member of the patrol team they thought that Jian Wushuang would win, especially the immortal saints. They worshipped Jian Wushuang blindly. No matter who the opponent was, they all thought that Jian Wushuang would win. As for the experts of the Xiaoyao Mansion, their eyes were also burning with passion. Heavenly Sword Marquis, is he going to fight with the Mansion Master? Master Shireen had a strange look on his face. Humph, Heavenly Sword Marquis only had the battle strength of a superior saint in the Blood Wave world 400 years ago. Where did he get the courage to challenge Master? Master Xiaoyao snorted in his heart. Obviously, he did not think that Jian Wushuang had the strength to challenge Marquis Xiaoyao. However, no matter what the people around him thought, Jian Wushuang and Marquis Xiaoyao were already fighting head-on in the center of the battlefield. Previously, Jian Wushuang had been very relaxed when he faced the Master True Eyes and Master Shireen, and he had kept his strength. But now that he was facing Marquis Xiaoyao, Jian Wushuang did not hold back from the beginning. Once he activated his life divine power and the heaven-cleaving skill, coupled with the power of his two wills, his battle strength reached its peak in an instant. Peerless Sword Technique, Shi Xiang. The Blood Mountain sword turned into a blood-red lightning bolt and instantly rushed out. That shocking violent aura rushed into the sky. Wherever the sword light went, space cracked inch by inch. If you have problems with this website, please continue reading your novel on our new website MyBox Novel. Thanks. Humph. However, Marquis Xiaoyao only snorted lightly. When the blood-red lightning bolt arrived, the 2-meter-long heavy sword that he had been carrying on his back instantly appeared in his hand. He held the heavy sword with one hand. An endless amount of power surged into the sword. Following that, the broadsword simply swept across. It seemed simple, but the broadsword contained two incomparably violent principles of destruction and lightning. These two laws of power were perfectly fused together, complementing each other, allowing this casual sweep of the sword. Its power was earth-shattering. Voila, the air was directly swept away. In the middle, it was like a long meteor, colliding head-on with the blood-colored lightning. Bang! With a loud bang, the blood-colored lightning suddenly dimmed, and two extremely violent powers wildly collided. Voila, the surrounding space exploded one after another. and one after another, spatial cracks that were dozens of meters long spread out continuously in the battlefield. It was as if the world was splitting apart from the middle. The commotion was incredible. The surrounding experts who were watching the battle could not help but click their tongues when they saw the scene in the middle of the battlefield. They knew very well that the power displayed by Jian Wushuang and Marquis Xiaoyao far exceeded that of everyone present. This level of power was not something that the people present were qualified to participate in. Finally, with a low rumble, the two powers in the middle of the battlefield finally retreated with the defeat of one of them. The two figures also retreated. Jian Wushuang only staggered back a few steps, while Marquis Xiaoyao retreated a long distance before stopping again. At first glance, it seemed that Jian Wushuang had the upper hand, but in fact, "Haha, Marquis Xiaoyao, it is said that you have mastered the two brutal principles of thunder and destruction at the same time, and they are fused together. This makes your attack extremely terrifying and violent. Your casual attack has the power to destroy the world. Now it seems that it is true." Jian Wushuang laughed loudly. It echoed in the world. Jian Wushuang was quite surprised. After all, he had just used his most powerful attack, Shixiang, with all his strength. However, Marquis Xiaoyao had only casually swept his sword and was still in a stalemate with him for so long before he was forced to retreat. If Marquis Xiaoyao also used an offensive sword skill, its power would probably be stronger than his. "You're not weak either." Marquis Xiaoyao also stared at Jian Wushuang. It's hard to imagine that an immortal saint could have the power equivalent to the four void realms. "I was careless and suffered a small loss, but it won't happen again. Haha, let's do it again." Jian Wushuang laughed heartily and moved forward again. At the same time, the Blood Mountain sword in his hand turned into arcs of light. Chapter 3355. Heart Penetration. Endless Fantasy. Hua. 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 One after another, extremely fast sword shadows rushed out. Wushuang Sword Manual. Ninth Heaven of Illusionary Sword. Although Marquis Xiaoyao used a heavy sword, his speed was not slow at all. The heavy sword seemed to weigh hundreds of millions of pounds, but it seemed to be weightless in his hand. He waved the heavy sword again and again. He easily blocked all of Jian Wushuang's swordsmanship. Jian Wushuang's swordsmanship has completely exploded. Shixiang. Star Dream. Setting Sun. Emperor Blood Kill. Life and Death Moment. Jian Wushuang used the peerless sword manual he had created to its fullest. The violent, swift, and strange sword shadows attacked Jian Wushuang crazily. Not only did he use Jian Wushuang to his fullest, at the same time, he also used his body speed and his understanding of sword principle to its fullest. At this moment, Jian Wushuang's battle strength had reached its peak, leaving aside some of his trump cards and tricks. Each sword skill had its own characteristics. If it were an ordinary expert, it would be difficult to resist it, but against Marquis Xiaoyao. If you have problems with this website, please continue reading your novel on our new website myboxnovel.com. Thanks. According to the information that Jian Wushuang had obtained, the most terrifying thing about Marquis Xiaoyao was his close combat ability. His close combat ability was too strong. With the combination of offense and defense, coupled with his extremely violent offensive, he could easily defeat the enemy. But now, in the face of Jian Wushuang's endless attacks of swordsmanship, Marquis Xiaoyao was calm and easy to deal with. No matter how tricky Jian Wushuang's swordsmanship was, or how strange it was, Marquis Xiaoyao was able to withstand it. After a fierce battle, although Jian Wushuang had been attacking crazily, he did not gain any advantage from Marquis Xiaoyao. "Heavenly Sword Marquis, is this your strongest strength?" Marquis Xiaoyao suddenly stopped what he was doing. His eyes were cold as he stared at Jian Wushuang, and a mocking smile appeared on his lips. "Although your swordsmanship is indeed very powerful and strange, and in terms of real combat strength, it is indeed difficult for an ordinary expert of the Void Four Realms to defeat you, it is still too early for you to challenge me with such strength." As soon as he finished his words, Marquis Xiaoyao's body suddenly shook. A shocking destructive aura burst out from his body. At the same time, a large amount of dark purple thunderbolt power surged out from his body. These dark purple thunderbolts even spread directly to the heavy sword in his hand. Kill Thunderbolt. Swish. A flash of lightning suddenly shot out. It was so fast that even Jian Wushuang could barely see a trace of it. Marquis Xiaoyao was already in front of him, and at the same time, the 2-meter-long heavy sword had been raised high above the heavy sword. The two extremely violent rules of destruction and thunder were perfectly fused together. In an instant he slashed down with a bang. This sword, Jian Wushuang's eyes suddenly darkened. The moment he saw Marquis Xiaoyao's sword, he moved at the same time. Buzz, buzz, a sword light suddenly swung out. In an instant, it stirred up the surrounding space and time, causing the surrounding void to completely turn blood red. The sky was blood red, the ground was blood red, and even the air was filled with a large amount of blood mist. This sword light was also extremely overbearing, easily cutting through space. At the same time, the majestic power of space and time suddenly covered the void in front of them. The Peerless Sword Manual, Blood Azura, the strongest move of the 7 sword moves of the Peerless Sword Manual, was now displayed in Jian Wushuang's hands. The effect of the spacetime stagnation was instantly produced. Marquis Xiaoyao and his extremely violent sword. Both of them were affected by the spacetime stagnation, although they managed to break free in the blink of an eye. However, because of this slight impression, the speed and power of Marquis Xiaoyao's violent sword were greatly weakened, giving Jian Wushuang a chance to resist. Bang! The 2 sword lights finally collided head-on. As soon as they came into contact, Jian Wushuang immediately felt a violent force transmitted from the Blood Mountain sword in his hand. This force shook his divine body, causing him to let out a muffled groan. His body also ire-treated in a sorry state at the first moment. Whoosh! The sword light dissipated and mercilessly shattered the surrounding void, forming a shockwave that spread out in all directions. Jian Wushuang had already steadied himself. He tightened the Blood Mountain sword in his hand and frowned slightly. Marquis Xiaoyao is indeed at the peak of the Void 4th realm. He is also a top expert who specializes in close combat. The power of his move just now was too strong. It was not something I could withstand in a head-on collision. Even though I had used Blood Azura at the first moment and slowed down the speed and power of this move still crushed me. Jian Wushuang sighed quietly. Heavenly Sword Marquis, you are very strong, but you are still weaker than me. Marquis Xiaoyao looked at Jian Wushuang. Isn't it too early to say that? I haven't lost yet. Jian Wushuang smiled. What? Aren't you going to admit defeat? Marquis Xiaoyao's eyes darkened. It's just that you are stronger than me in a head-on fight. In a real fight, victory and defeat are not determined by the power of a head-on fight. Jian Wushuang smiled, but then his body swayed slightly. He disappeared directly in front of Marquis Xiaoyao. This scene caused Marquis Xiaoyao's pupils to constrict. The surrounding experts who were watching the fight looked around blankly. What's going on? Where did the inspector go? I can't find him. I can't even sense his soul. Shadowless escape art. It's the inspector's shadowless escape art. The principal's masters and the patrol team immediately reacted. The shadowless escape art of the Blood Blade Master? Marquis Xiaoyao remained calm. Humph, I knew you had mastered the shadowless escape art, but unfortunately your shadowless escape art can't be compared to the Blood Blade Master's. It may be no problem to hide it from an ordinary principal's master, but it's a joke to hide it from me. Marquis Xiaoyao's soul power spread out directly. In just a moment he had already sensed Jian Wushuang's location. Over here. Marquis Xiaoyao transformed into a thunderbolt and immediately appeared in the void where Jian Wushuang was. At the same time he swung his hand violently. Your sensing ability is not bad. Jian Wushuang's figure also appeared in the void. At the same time he also swung his Blood Mountain sword. The two collided again, but this time, Marquis Xiaoyao's heavy sword easily passed through the body of the Blood Mountain sword and Jian Wushuang's divine body without any obstruction. What? Marquis Xiaoyao was stunned. Oh no, it's time-space conversion. Marquis Xiaoyao was the first to react. At the same time he sensed that Jian Wushuang had appeared behind him. Jian Wushuang smiled. He looked at Marquis Xiaoyao, who had his back to him, and gently threw out his Blood Mountain sword. The second move of the Bloody Blade Swordsmanship, the first move of Heart Penetration. Chapter 3356. Was defeated. So fast. So fast. A trace of shock flashed across Marquis Xiaoyao's eyes. He had already realized that what he had encountered before was just an illusion formed by the spacetime conversion, and he had also sensed Jian Wushuang's real location. Logically speaking, with his strength, since he had reacted at the first moment, even if he was in a passive position, he should have been able to barely defend himself. But now Jian Wushuang's thrust made Marquis Xiaoyao lose the thought of defending. What could he do? The sword move was too fast. The Blood Blade sword art was the strongest assassination sword art created by the Blood Blade Master. It was used together with the Shadowless Escape art. Jian Wushuang had mastered the Shadowless Escape skill to the initial level. He had also mastered the second move of the Bloody Sword skill, which was called Penetrating Heart form. It was faster and faster than the first move of the Blood Drop skill. Most importantly, the piercing force of the sword skill was even more terrifying. If Jian Wushuang had only used the first move of the blood drop skill, he might have been blocked by Marquis Xiaoyao even at such a good time. However, once he used the second move, even Marquis Xiaoyao would not be able to block it. He could only watch as the sword with a terrifying piercing force struck his divine body. Boom. The void shook, and the layer of thunder covering Marquis Xiaoyao's body was instantly penetrated. The defense on his body was also instantly shattered. However, Marquis Xiaoyao was wearing protective armor, which was an extremely high-level supreme treasure. Jian Wushuang's sword attack. It was unable to penetrate the protective armor directly, but a terrifying penetrating power still passed through the armor and into Marquis Xiaoyao's divine body. Humph! Marquis Xiaoyao snorted and his face suddenly darkened. Under the influence of that power, he retreated crazily and only regained his balance after a long time. Heavenly Sword Marquis, you're really good. Marquis Xiaoyao stared at Jian Wushuang with a solemn face and then sighed, I lost this battle. Haha, thank you for letting me win. Jian Wushuang smiled. The surrounding experts who were watching the battle instantly burst into an uproar. As expected, the patrol inspector won. The patrol inspector is so powerful. It is said that Marquis Xiaoyao is a principal's master with amazing strength and has a great battle record. However, the patrol ambassador still defeated him head-on. Humph, see, I told you that you would win. The sergeants of the patrol team were very happy, but it was the opposite in Xiaoyao Mansion. What happened? Although Master was pushed back just now, it doesn't mean that he has lost. Wasn't Heavenly Sword Marquis also pushed back by Master? Young Master Xiaoyao did not understand. To be exact, he did not believe that his master would be defeated by Jian Wushuang. Master Shirin, who was beside him, secretly shook his head. The Lord Mansion Master has indeed lost this battle. Great Elder. Young Master Xiaoyao looked at him with a frown. Young Master, although the Lord Mansion Master and Jian Wushuang were both pushed back once, the outcome of the battle hasn't been determined yet. However, the Lord Mansion Master has actually done his best in this battle. Under the Lord Mansion Master's best efforts, he could only fight with Heavenly Sword Marquis. Don't forget that the reason why Heavenly Sword Marquis has such an incredible reputation in the Divine Beginning realm is not only because of his own strength, but also his trump cards and means. He has many trump cards and techniques. For example, he has a universe true treasure with shocking power. Once it is used, his power can reach a whole new level. Also, during the battle over 400 years ago, he summoned a terrifying Yimo and forced the Flame Saint Master into a difficult situation. He has too many trump cards and techniques, but now he hasn't used them. Just by relying on his own power, he is already on par with the Palace Master. What do you think will happen if he uses those trump cards and techniques? Master Shirin looked at young Master Xiaoyao. Are you saying that once this Heavenly Sword Marquis uses his trump card, Master will be no match for him? Young Master Xiaoyao was startled. If you have problems with this website, please continue reading your novel on our new website MyBox Novel. Thanks. Yes, not only is he no match for him, I'm afraid Lord Mansion Master will have to worry about his own life in the hands of this Heavenly Sword Marquis, Master Shirin said seriously. What? This Heavenly Sword Marquis can threaten Master's life? Young Master Xiaoyao was completely stunned. Don't doubt it. If I'm not wrong, Lord Mansion Master also knows this. That's why he voluntarily admitted defeat and didn't continue fighting with Heavenly Sword Marquis. Once he forces Heavenly Sword Marquis to use his trump card, the outcome would be unimaginable even to Lord Mansion Master. Master Shirin said. It's like this. Young Master Xiaoyao finally understood. But when he knew the cause and effect, he felt even more upset. Because more than 400 years ago in the Blood Wave realm, Jian Wushuang was on the same level as him, and they even fought face to face. But in the blink of an eye, in less than 400 years, his opponent had reached the point where even his master feared him and dared not force him to use his trump card. The gap between them was too big. Jian Wushuang knew why Marquis Xiaoyao had admitted defeat. However, he had already fought with Marquis Xiaoyao and forced him to use all of his strength. The battle was enjoyable, he did not have any regrets, so he did not want to continue fighting. Marquis Xiaoyao, since you have lost this battle, then according to what I said before, no matter what opportunities or treasures there are in the mystic realm of heaven and earth, my temporal temple will take 80% of them, while your Xiaoyao mansion will only take 20%. Moreover, in the secret land of heaven and earth, the experts of your Xiaoyao mansion will have to listen to the arrangement of my temporal temple, Jian Wushuang said seriously. Sure. Marquis Xiaoyao was very straightforward and did not care about anything else. Alright, let your people move aside first. Let our people open the secret realm first. Then we will each send a group of experts to enter the secret realm together, Jian Wushuang said. Okay. Marquis Xiaoyao nodded. But at this time Master Shireen walked up. Mansion Master Mr. Heavenly Marquis, this secret realm is very unique. We've already tried it and even asked several Principals Masters to join hands, but they can't really open it. I wonder if you have any ideas, Mr. Heavenly Marquis? Humph, do you think this secret realm can be opened as long as a few Principals Masters join hands? Jian Wushuang sneered and then glanced behind him. Duanlang, take out the token. Chapter 3357. Entering the secret realm of heaven and earth. Duanlang immediately stepped forward and handed the token to Jian Wushuang. There really is a token. Master Shireen glanced at the token and sighed. He had guessed that to enter the secret realm of heaven and earth, there should be a token to guide them. Moreover, the token should have been found by the immortal saints who had discovered the secret realm of heaven and earth, but unfortunately he knew too late. If they had known that Duanlang and the others had tokens, they would not have let them go so easily. They would have found a way to get the tokens and immediately open the secret realm to enter. By the time Jian Wushuang and the patrol team arrived, the opportunity treasures in the secret realm would have fallen into their hands, and the initiative would be in their hands. Unfortunately, because of the difference of one step, they could only enter the secret land of heaven and earth with the experts of the temporal temple. Even if there were a mountain of treasures and opportunities inside, they could only get 20%, they had to listen to Jian Wushuang's arrangements. The secret realm of heaven and earth is not big. You and I don't need so many experts to enter. Each of us can choose a few people to enter, Jian Wushuang said. That's fine. Besides you, Shireen, and I, there are 4 other Principals Masters in the Xiaoyao mansion. A total of 6 people will enter, Marquis Xiaoyao said. As for the temporal temple, Jian Wushuang hesitated for a moment, then he ordered, Zhentong, you and Master Siyi will lead the soldiers to hold back. The other Principals Masters will follow me into the secret realm of heaven and earth. Yes. Zhentong and Master Siyi immediately nodded respectfully. They asked Zhentong and Master Siyi to hold back in order to prevent any unnecessary changes. As for the secret realm, there might be some dangers, but they should be able to deal with it with their current strength. Duanlang Yu. Jian Wushuang looked at them again. You guys found the secret realm of heaven and earth first, so you should be the first to explore it. But for some reasons you can't go in now. But you can rest assured that if we find the treasures left by the Amethyst demon sect in the secret realm of heaven and earth, or if we get a lot of opportunities and treasures, we will give you a portion according to a certain ratio. Okay. Duanlang nodded. Haha, I hope there really are treasures left by the Amethyst demon sect in the secret realm of heaven and earth. Then we will make a fortune. Yu also smiled. They had no objection to Jian Wushuang's decision, and they had long been mentally prepared. This was the way the temporal temple operated. If the experts under them obtained opportunities or treasures with their own power, they would naturally own them. However, if they did not get them by themselves, if they had borrowed the temporal temple's power, then these treasures and fortuitous encounters would definitely belong to the temporal temple. After that, the temporal temple would share a portion of the treasures and fortuitous encounters with these experts according to what they had done. This time, although Duanlang Yu and the others had found this secret realm of heaven and earth, they had carelessly allowed the Xiaoyao mansion to intervene. Thus, they could only let the temporal temple step in. As for the temporal temple, they could only get some opportunities or treasures based on their contributions. As for whether they could enter the heaven and earth secret realm, they did not care too much. As long as they could get a part of it, they would not have to make a wasted trip. After deciding on the experts to enter, Jian Wushuang immediately ordered people to open the heaven and earth secret realm. Previously, without the token, several Principals Masters of the Xiaoyao mansion could not do anything to the heaven and earth secret realm. But now, because of the token, the temporal temple only sent 3 Principals Masters. They easily opened the secret realm, and a space passage that could allow several people to enter at the same time appeared in front of them. As soon as the space passage appeared, an extremely ancient aura spread out from it. However, judging from the aura, the secret realm had existed for a long time. It was obviously left behind by the Amethyst demon sect. Let's go in. Jian Wushuang led his 8 Principals Masters, including Sword Dragon Master, and the 6 Principals Masters led by Marquis Xiaoyao to enter the secret realm almost at the same time. The secret realm had existed since the Amethyst demon sect dominated the second heaven. Even though the Amethyst demon sect was later destroyed by the Flame Saint realm, the secret realm was still preserved. It had been quiet for a long time, but today the tranquility of the secret realm was finally broken. Bus. A burst of light flashed, and more than 10 figures stepped out of the spatial tunnel and appeared in the secret realm of heaven and earth. As soon as they came to the secret realm of heaven and earth, Jian Wushuang and the others immediately looked around. What an ancient aura. Such an ancient aura can only be found when the Amethyst demon sect is still in the second heaven. Sword Dragon Master said. Everyone in the temporal temple, have you noticed the difference between the secret realm and the Amethyst Fog Sea? Marquis Xiaoyao looked at Jian Wushuang with interest. Yes, I have. The Amethyst Fog Sea used to be the lair of the Amethyst demon sect. When the Flame Saint realm attacked the Amethyst Fog Sea, it turned into ruins. It's still a horrible scene. However, there's no trace of a battle in the heaven and earth secret realm. On the contrary, it's very peaceful. The ground and the surrounding mountains are intact. Obviously, the battle didn't affect the heaven and earth secret realm, Jian Wushuang said. Not only was it left behind by the Amethyst demon sect, but it was not affected by the war at all. This secret realm might be the place where the Amethyst demon sect has been hiding the treasures and opportunities. Master Xian's eyes became extremely hot. It might be the place where the treasures and opportunities are hidden, but the problem now is how to find them. Marquis Xiaoyao smiled faintly and looked at Jian Wushuang again. Heavenly Sword Marquis, how do you think we should find them? If you have problems with this website, please continue reading your novel on our new website MyBox Novel. Thanks. This secret realm is not very big. Even if the Amethyst demon sect hides the treasures and opportunities in a deep place, we should be able to find them. At most, it will take us a little more time. Marquis Xiaoyao, according to the previous agreement, the experts of your Xiaoyao mansion must always listen to me in this secret realm. Now, I have decided that we should explore this secret realm together and find them slowly. Jian Wushuang said with a smile. Chapter 3358. Searching in the secret realm of heaven and earth, a group of 15 people from the temporal temple and the Xiaoyao mansion were wandering around. The secret realm of heaven and earth was not big. Soon Jian Wushuang and the others arrived at its core. There were many palaces and pavilions standing there. These palaces and pavilions were quite majestic. Obviously, they were not something that ordinary small sects could have. The treasures left by the Amethyst demon sect are probably hidden in these palaces and pavilions. Let's take our time to find them. Jian Wushuang smiled and the group immediately began to search carefully in the palaces and pavilions. Time passed and more than half a day passed in a flash. They had searched all the palaces and pavilions in the secret realm, but they did not find any treasures. How could it be? Jian Wushuang frowned. Is the treasure not hidden in the palaces and pavilions, but somewhere else in the secret realm? Or is there no treasure opportunity left by the Amethyst demon sect in the secret realm? Sword Dragon Master said. No, it's too early to tell. Maybe the treasure is hidden here, but it's hidden so well that we didn't find it. Let's search again, Jian Wushuang said. The people of the Xiaoyao mansion, including Marquis Xiaoyao, did not have any objections. Soon they searched the palace again. This time they searched more carefully. It could be said that they searched the entire palace, but they still found nothing. It seems that even if there is treasure left by the Amethyst demon sect in the secret land, it must be hidden very well. If we continue to search like this, it's probably useless. Why don't we spread out and search? Marquis Xiaoyao suggested. Spread out. Jian Wushuang raised his eyebrows and then smiled. Yes, but there's no need to spread out too much. How about this? The experts of the temporal temple and your Marquis Xiaoyao each send a team of 2 to search. That way, even if we find the treasure, we can share it fairly, right? Upon hearing Jian Wushuang's words, Marquis Xiaoyao's expression did not change, but his heart jumped. He actually hoped that the experts from both sides could split up to search for the treasure. In this way, if his people were lucky enough to get the treasure, they could say that they did not get it, and Jian Wushuang would not be able to explore it. They had a chance to take the treasure for themselves. Unfortunately, Jian Wushuang had already seen through his plan, so he said that they would move in pairs. Moreover, both sides would send 1 person each. In terms of the number of people on both sides, the temporal temple would have a few more people. In this way, the temporal temple would have a chance to secretly occupy the treasures they found. After Jian Wushuang made his decision, the experts from both sides quickly began to work in pairs to search the secret land of heaven and earth. As the leader, Jian Wushuang, of course, was with Marquis Xiaoyao. The 2 of them also searched the secret land of heaven and earth. However, even though the group had been divided into several groups and the efficiency of the search was much higher than before, they still could not find anything after searching. Time passed, and soon Jian Wushuang and the others had entered the secret land of heaven and earth for a day. In a magnificent palace, 2 rule masters stood in the middle and carefully observed the surroundings. One of the two principal's masters was Master Qianfu from the Temporal Temple, and the other was Master Shui from the Xiaoyao mansion. We've been to this palace several times, but we didn't find anything before. It seems that we can't find anything this time, Master Shui said. Don't be anxious. Keep looking carefully. We can't tell if there are any special mechanisms or formations hidden in this palace. It's just that we haven't activated them yet, Master Qianfu said. Master Shui shrugged and could only continue searching. The two of them also kept trying to move the decorative equipment in the palace to see if there were any mechanisms, but unfortunately there was nothing. The two of them could only sigh softly and leave the palace. Just as they walked out of the palace, a gray stream of light suddenly flashed around them. Huh? Master Qianfu narrowed his eyes. Master Shui, did you see a gray light just now? Gray light? What gray light? Master Shui glanced at Master Qianfu. He and Master Qianfu had walked out of the palace at the same time, but he had indeed not seen any gray light just now. That's not right. I clearly saw a gray light flash just now. Although it disappeared very quickly, there was definitely one. Master Qianfu was incomparably certain. You really saw it? Master Shui's expression also moved. Master Qianfu was a dignified principal's master. Of course there was no way he could have seen anything wrong. Since he had seen the gray light just now, there was an 80% chance that he was right. And just as the two of them were extremely puzzled, the gray light lit up once again, and this time it came directly in front of them. What is this? Master Shui's expression immediately changed. If you have problems with this website, please continue reading your novel on our new website MyBox Novel. Thanks. Be careful. Master Qianfu immediately shouted out. Shoo. That gray light carried an incomparable speed and impact force, instantly enveloping Master Qianfu and Master Shui. The two of them had not even seen clearly what this gray light was. However, a terrifying might had already swept over. Boom. The peaceful heaven and earth's secret realm suddenly let out a roar. It was like a sudden clap of thunder on flat ground, instantly exploding. This terrifying roar was accompanied by a shocking might that spread wildly in all directions. At the first moment, it crushed some of the surrounding palaces and pavilions into powder. Even the entire heaven and earth secret realm was on the verge of collapsing under this terrifying might. It's all falling apart. What's wrong? What's going on? What a terrible power. Who is it? Many experts, including Jianghu and Marquis Xiaoyao, who were searching for treasures and opportunities in the secret land of heaven and earth, were shocked by this terrifying power. One by one they soared into the sky, appear in the void, all eyes, all looked to the source of that power. However, when they took a look, they could only see the shocking might and energy that was crazily attacking, as well as the large waves of air that were stirred up by the might. They could not see anything else clearly. After a while, the might gradually depleted, only then did they see the void clearly. They could see that the void, including the land, had already become a piece of trash. A huge pit appeared in everyone's line of sight, and under the pit, one of Master Qianfu and Master Shui stood there trembling, the other had already half knelt down. Both of their faces were pale, and their auras were completely dispirited. There was still blood spewing from their mouths under their feet. This scene caused everyone's pupils to constrict. Chapter 3359, Gray Shadow, Master Qianfu. Shui. The experts of the Temporal Temple and Xiaoyao Mansion immediately rushed toward the pit at their fastest speed. In the blink of an eye, they had already appeared in front of Master Qianfu and Master Shui. Shui, what's going on? Marquis Xiaoyao asked with a frown. Don't know, Master Shui said with a trace of fear. You don't know. Marquis Xiaoyao could not help being stunned. Asa Principal's master, he was injured to such an extent, but Master Shui did not know what had happened? Master Qianfu. Jianghu looked at Master Qianfu. In terms of strength, Master Qianfu had already reached the peak of the Void Second Realm, which was slightly stronger than Master Shui. It's a gray streamer, Master Qianfu said in a low voice. A gray streamer? Jianghu was stunned. Master Shui and I were searching in a palace, but we didn't find any trace of it. When we walked out of the palace, I immediately saw a gray streamer flash around us. I was already alert at that time, but then the gray streamer appeared again and directly rushed toward us. You've all seen what happened next, Master Qianfu said. Jianghu expression immediately turned grave when he heard Master Tianfu's words. In other words, you didn't see clearly what the gray light was? Jianghu asked. Yes. Master Qianfu nodded. I could barely see that the flowing light was a light shadow, but I couldn't see clearly what the time was. How could an expert at the peak of the second void realm be injured so badly before he could even see his opponent? Marquis Xiaoyao's face darkened, and he looked at Jian Wushuang. It seems that the secret realm is not as simple as we thought. Well, I thought that the secret realm was just a place for the Amethyst demon sect to hide treasures. But now it seems that there is a high chance that it is a place for treasures. However, there must be a lot of dangers in this place. For example, the gray shadow just now might be a method left behind by the Amethyst demon sect to guard the treasure. It might be a special puppet fighter or a sect guarding exotic beast, Jian Wushuang said. The first thing Jian Wushuang thought of when he heard about the gray shadow was puppet fighters or exotic beasts, but he did not think of human cultivators. After all, the secret realm of heaven and earth had existed for a long time. The secret realm of heaven and earth had not been opened for a long time. If a human cultivator was really in the secret realm of heaven and earth, he would not have been alone for so many years. Heavenly Sword Marquis, what should we do next? Do we continue to search? Marquis Xiaoyao asked. Yes, of course. Jian Wushuang smiled. We didn't find any trace of treasure after searching. I almost thought that this secret realm might not be the treasure place of the Amethyst demon sect, but just an ordinary secret realm. But because of the appearance of this gray shadow, I think this secret realm is not simple. Right now, I am almost certain that the secret realm of heaven and earth has something left behind by the Amethyst demon sect. Since there is a treasure, of course we have to continue searching just like before. We will continue searching in pairs. However, when we are searching we have to be careful. We have to be wary of the gray figure's attack. Also, Marquis Xiaoyao, there is no need for us to continue searching. We will stay in the central area of this building complex and observe the surrounding movements. Once we see the gray figure appear again, we will immediately take action. Okay. Marquis Xiaoyao nodded heavily. He was now certain that the secret realm of heaven and earth was the treasure place of the Amethyst demon sect. Jian Wushuang's arrangement was very reasonable. He asked the others to continue searching for the treasure in the complex. As the strongest, the two of them stood in the center of the complex to deal with the possible changes. Once the gray figure appeared again, they would be able to detect it immediately. Immediately, the principals masters of both sides continued to search carefully in the surrounding buildings. Because of their serious injuries and the sharp decline in their strength, Master Qianfu and Master Shui did not continue searching. Instead, they stayed with Jian Wushuang and Marquis Xiaoyao and kept an eye on the situation around them. An hour later, in the void not far away from Jian Wushuang, the gray streamer appeared again without any warning. Although the gray streamer appeared very suddenly, Jian Wushuang and Marquis Xiaoyao noticed it immediately. It's there. Jian Wushuang's eyes flashed with a fierce light as he instantly locked onto the gray streamer. If you have problems with this website, please continue reading your novel on our new website MyBox Novel. Thanks. However, the gray flowing light under his gaze was too fast. It was so fast that Jian Wushuang did not even have time to give any warning. The gray flowing light was no longer hindered in the slightest as it directly charged toward the two principals masters who were searching around. The strength of the two principals masters was relatively average, even though the two of them had been on guard against the gray flowing light because of the lessons they had learned from Master Qianfu and Master Shui, they still did not manage to block it in time. Boom. Another earth-shaking, terrifying boom swept across the area. When Jian Wushuang and Marquis Xiaoyao entered the area, the gray flowing light had already disappeared, and the two principals masters who had been hit by the flowing light had also been severely injured. Damn it. Looking at the two principals masters who seemed to be even more miserable than Master Qianfu and Master Shui, Jian Wushuang's face turned very ugly. It's too fast. The gray flowing light just now was too fast. It was so fast that even you and I didn't have time to react. What's more, we still couldn't see clearly what it was. Marquis Xiaoyao also said in a low voice. Yes, although the two of them had noticed the appearance of the gray flowing light and looked over immediately, they still could not figure out what it was. They still did not know what the gray light shadow was. The gray light is hidden too well. It's hiding right beside us, but we can't find it at all. Even the principals masters, who are best at soul perception, can't seem to catch the existence of the gray light, Marquis Xiaoyao said seriously. It's really troublesome. If we want to continue searching for the treasure, we must find a way to find the gray light first. Otherwise, if we let it be around us, our principals masters will be too dangerous. Jian Wushuang's eyes were cold. Chapter 3360. Spacetime Prison. Jian Wushuang and Marquis Xiaoyao were not afraid of the gray light shadow. After all, they were powerful, so the gray light shadow should not be able to threaten them. However, most of the principal's masters under them were only in the second realm of the void. They could not face the gray light shadow. 4 principal's masters had been seriously injured. If they let the gray light shadow continue, more principal's masters would be injured. The gray light shadow was too fast and did not have any aura or power. We could not sense its existence. It was just like the shadowless escape art you mastered, Marquis Xiaoyao said. Shadowless escape skill? Jian Wushuang was stunned, but then he nodded secretly. Indeed, his shadowless escape skill was hidden in the surrounding void and could hide from the soul detection of the cultivators, but because his mastery of the shadowless escape skill was only in the profound realm, therefore, he couldn't hide it from Marquis Xiaoyao, who had already reached the peak of the 4th realm of the void. But the gray shadow could even hide from Marquis Xiaoyao. It was hidden in the secret realm of heaven and earth, but no one knew where it was. Heavenly Sword Marquis, you have mastered the shadowless escape technique, so you should know more about this concealment method. Do you have a way to find the gray light shadow now? Marquis Xiaoyao asked. I'm not sure, but I can try. Jian Wushuang focused his eyes, and a large amount of the power of spacetime principles had gathered in his body. In the blink of an eye, the power of spacetime principles gathered in his body had reached an astonishing level. Spacetime principles? Marquis Xiaoyao looked at him in surprise. To find the gray figure, you should find a way to improve your soul perception. What use can you use the spacetime principles now? Just watch. Jian Wushuang smiled faintly. Then he stretched out his right hand and made a strange cut in the void in front of him. One finger drawing the sky spacetime prison. Buzz. With that simple stroke, the power of the spacetime principles gathered in Jian Wushuang's body suddenly surged up and swept out in all directions like a wave. In just a moment, it covered the entire secret realm of heaven and earth. This is... When Marquis Xiaoyao saw the power of the spacetime principles around him, his pupils suddenly shrank. Spacetime imprisonment, this is spacetime imprisonment. Heavenly Sword Marquis, you have mastered spacetime imprisonment? How is that possible? When I fought with you, your application of spacetime principles clearly did not reach this level. Marquis Xiaoyao looked at Jian Wushuang in surprise. Haha, Marquis Xiaoyao, there are many things you don't know. Jian Wushuang smiled. His application of spacetime principles indeed did not reach the level of spacetime imprisonment. It was still at the level of spacetime conversion. Under normal circumstances, he could not use spacetime imprisonment. However, Jian Wushuang could use the power of the treasure even though he could not use it by himself. For example, he was using the golden sky painting flag given to him by the temporal temple master. The golden sky painting flag was a top-notch treasure in spacetime. It could be very useful in the hands of experts who were proficient in spacetime principles. For example, back on Saha Island, Green Rock Master had used the golden sky painting flag to cast time and space imprisonment, which prevented many powerful principles masters in the temporal temple from breaking it. Although Jian Wushuang could not use the principles of time and space as well as Green Rock Master, he could still use the golden sky painting flag to perform some tricks, especially since the golden sky painting flag had some secret skills. Jian Wushuang had mastered the simplest of them, the spacetime prison, and he had already performed it. Although I don't know why you can use the spacetime imprisonment, what we need to do now is to find the gray shadow. If you completely imprison this spacetime, you can only trap it in this spacetime, but you still can't find it? Marquis Xiaoyao frowned and said, if it's just an ordinary spacetime lock, it can only trap people. However, my spacetime prison is different. Not only does it have the effect of spacetime lock, but it also has a great spacetime domain. In other words, this spacetime will definitely be under my control. My spacetime power can sweep through every spacetime wantonly. No matter how deep it is hidden, I can find it. Jian Wushuang smiled. Wait a moment, I'm already looking for him. If you have problems with this website, please continue reading your novel on our new website MyBox Novel. Thanks. Upon hearing this, Marquis Xiaoyao's heart was in turmoil. This heavenly sword Marquis really has a lot of tricks up his sleeve. Marquis Xiaoyao looked at Jian Wushuang with a meaningful look. He knew that Jian Wushuang had a lot of tricks up his sleeve, so he chose not to continue fighting with Jian Wushuang. Instead, he chose to admit defeat. He had made a wise choice at that time. After all, Jian Wushuang did not show any tricks in that battle like in the spacetime prison. I found it. Jian Wushuang's eyes suddenly lit up, and a smile appeared on his face. You really hit it well. Unfortunately, no matter how well you hit it, you can't escape from this spacetime. Marquis Xiaoyao, follow me. Jian Wushuang shouted in a low voice, but his figure instantly shot out. Naturally, Marquis Xiaoyao immediately followed Jian Wushuang. Swish, swish. Two figures flashed at the same time, but in an instant, they appeared in front of an empty void. Here. Jin Wushuang's eyes flashed with a fierce light. The Blood Mountain sword behind him had already been drawn, and a brutal sword essence, with shocking power, instantly slashed toward the empty void. As for Marquis Xiaoyao, although he did not see anything strange in the void in front of him, he followed Jin Wushuang and also pressed forward with his heavy sword. The two sword shadows slashed toward the empty void almost at the same time. At first there was indeed nothing in the void, but just as the two sword shadows were about to fall, a strange gray light suddenly appeared, then the gray light flashed and instantly collided with the two sword shadows. Clang, clang. The sound of metal colliding rang out. Jin Wushuang and Marquis Xiaoyao retreated almost at the same time. They pushed me and Marquis Xiaoyao back at the same time? Jin Wushuang was quite surprised as he retreated. After a while, he and Marquis Xiaoyao regained their balance, and their eyes immediately looked at the void in front of them. Jin Wushuang had also sensed that after fighting with him and Marquis Xiaoyao, the gray shadow did not choose to hide again. Instead it stood in the void. Chapter 3361. The Legacy. When the power completely dissipated, Jin Wushuang finally saw the other party clearly. It was a disheveled old man with silver hair and tattered clothes, who looked like a beggar. Although the disheveled old man did not emit any aura, when he stood there and appeared in everyone's sight, they could still sense an extremely rich life aura from him. In other words, this sloppy old man was not a puppet fighter but a real life. He was actually a human cultivator. He is a cultivator? Jin Wushuang and Marquis Xiaoyao looked at each other in shock. At the beginning, when they knew about the existence of the gray light shadow, the first thing they thought of was the helmet or some special exotic beasts, but they did not expect that the other party was a human cultivator. Because the secret realm of heaven and earth had existed for a long time, and it had been sealed all year round. If there were human cultivators, they would have left long ago. Why would they stay here? But now they had miscalculated. The sloppy old man who appeared in front of them was definitely a real human cultivator. Who are you? Jin Wushuang stared at the sloppy old man in front of him and asked in a solemn voice. Who am I? It's been a long time since anyone asked me this question. I've even forgotten who I am, the sloppy old man said. His voice was extremely hoarse and a little stiff. It was obvious that he had not spoken for a long time. Have you forgotten who you are? Jin Wushuang was stunned, but he immediately understood that the sloppy old man must be an extremely ancient existence. It was very likely that he had been left behind by the Amethyst demon sect. It had been at least hundreds of millions of years since then. He had been alone in the secret land of heaven and earth for such a long time. He had been lonely for so many years. The sloppy old man had not lost his mind, let alone forgotten who he was. It had already been very impressive. Lord Baotsong, Jin Wushuang sent a message to Baotsong immediately. If the secret land of heaven and earth was closed, he could not communicate with the outside world. But now that the secret land of heaven and earth had been opened, his communication with the outside world was not restricted. The reason why Jin Wushuang looked for Baotsong, in order to get information on the Amethyst demon sect. Although the sloppy old man had forgotten who he was, Jin Wushuang guessed that he must be from the Amethyst demon sect. It was very likely that he was an expert in the Amethyst demon sect. He had survived the destruction of the Amethyst demon sect in the Flame Saint realm and had stayed in the secret realm of heaven and earth. As long as he got information about the experts of the Amethyst demon sect, he should be able to know the identity of the sloppy old man. As one of the three freedom alliances in the divine beginning realm, the Temporal Temple was the most ancient existence. It was much older than the Amethyst demon sect. When the Amethyst demon sect dominated the second heaven, the Temporal Temple had always been the overlord of the divine beginning realm. Naturally, the Temporal Temple had information about the experts of the Amethyst demon sect, but it would take some time to find all of them. You're very good. The sloppy elder suddenly glanced at Jin Wushuang. It's rare for a saint to find me, but unfortunately you can't come to this place. Leave. The sloppy elder's voice was cold, as if he was asking them to leave. Jin Wushuang narrowed his eyes slightly, while Marquis Xiaoyao, who was standing beside him, said in a low voice, Your Excellency, although I don't know your true identity, I think you must be someone left behind by the Amethyst demon sect. If I'm not wrong, you're here to protect the treasure left behind by the Amethyst demon sect, right? It's been almost 200 million years since the Amethyst demon sect was destroyed. The experts left behind by the Amethyst demon sect have all died except for you. There's no possibility of them rising again. And this treasure is useless to you who has become a lone wolf. Why don't you help us and give us the treasure? Hearing this, the sloppy old man's eyes darkened. He had indeed forgotten his name and identity, but he still remembered his mission. His mission was to stay here and guard this place, to protect the final hope of the Amethyst demon sect's rise. Marquis Xiaoyao was right. The many treasures and opportunities left behind by the Amethyst demon sect were indeed hidden in this secret realm. He was the guardian of these treasures and opportunities. He had waited for so many years. He had waited for the experts left behind by the Amethyst demon sect to come with the tokens. Then he would use these treasures and opportunities to rise again in the divine beginning realm. Unfortunately, after waiting for nearly 200 million years, not a single person had come to this secret realm of heaven and earth. If you have problems with this website, please continue reading your novel on our new website MyBox Novel. Thanks. Until now, someone had finally used the tokens to open the secret realm of heaven and earth. However, under the observation of these principles masters, this sloppy old man had long known that the other party had nothing to do with the Amethyst demon sect. That was why he did not immediately show himself. But now, are all the seeds left in the sect dead? The sloppy old man looked up at the void and muttered to himself. Of course they are dead. Otherwise, why would no one come here to look for you? How could that token fall into our hands? Marquis Xiaoyao sneered. Your Excellency, a wise man submits to circumstances. Your Amethyst demon sect has already lost the possibility of rising again. Moreover, with the Flame Saint realm around, even if your Amethyst demon sect still has some experts left behind, it is impossible for you to re-establish the Amethyst demon sect. Therefore, it is better for you to hand over that treasure. This way we will forget about the matter of you seriously injuring the four of us principles masters. Otherwise, Marquis Xiaoyao's eyes were filled with annoyance and coldness. So what if you don't? I didn't blame you for barging in here, and I was even willing to let you leave. What a joke that you still dare to threaten me. You're really courting death. The sloppy old man's gaze turned cold. Since you're not willing to leave, then you can stay here forever to accompany me. As soon as the sloppy old man finished speaking, an extremely terrifying aura instantly appeared. It was as if a giant dragon that had been slumbering for billions of years had suddenly awakened. This aura was earth-shaking and immediately swept out and suppressed the entire area. In the secret realm of heaven and earth, there were more than a dozen principles masters from both the Temporal Temple and the Xiaoyao Mansion, including Jianghu and Marquis Xiaoyao, who were experts in the Void Realm. But at this moment, under the pressure of this sudden burst of aura, almost everyone felt a sense of fear from the depths of their souls. Chapter 3362, Demon Master Chen. Something's wrong, be careful. Jian Wushuang's expression changed when he felt the overwhelming aura from the sloppy old man. Marquis Xiaoyao's eyes darkened, but then a monstrous aura rose from his body. At the same time, a large amount of destructive and thunder principles power rose. At this moment, Marquis Xiaoyao, at a glance, he appeared just like a terrifying destructive thunder god. He is just an old fellow that has been left behind from the era of the Amethyst demon sect. Moreover, he has been trapped in this secret realm. Marquis Xiaoyao did not have the slightest fear towards the sloppy old man. He knew. During the battle when the Amethyst demon sect was destroyed, the top principles masters under the Amethyst demon sect had already been killed by the Flame Saint realm. Even if there were some who remained, their strength would definitely not be that great. Although nearly 200 million years had passed since the battle, the sloppy old man had stayed in the secret realm and did not go out. He did not have the chance to gain experience or opportunities. Even if his strength had increased, it definitely would not have been much. Furthermore, he had just met the sloppy old man. Although the sloppy old man had given him a lot of pressure, Marquis Xiaoyao did not think that his strength would be weaker than the sloppy old man. Kill Thunderbolt. Swoosh. Following Marquis Xiaoyao's shout, a flash of lightning suddenly shot out. It was so fast that people could not see clearly. Most people could only see a flash of lightning across the sky. However, Marquis Xiaoyao had already arrived in front of the sloppy old man. At the same time, he had raised the 2-meter-long heavy sword high up. On the heavy sword, two extremely violent rules, destruction and thunder, perfectly merged together. He slashed down with a bang. The power of this sword could be said to be world-shaking. Jian Wushuang was extremely familiar with this sword. Previously, when he was fighting with Marquis Xiaoyao had used this sword to completely crush him in terms of power. This was Marquis Xiaoyao's strongest sword, and its power had almost reached the limit of an expert of the Void Fourth Realm. However, in the face of such a powerful sword strike, a mocking expression appeared on the sloppy old man's face. He did not make much of a move and merely waved his tattered sleeve, causing a thin and weak arm, like a blade, it directly hacked at the heavy sword. "Get lost!" the sloppy old man also shouted. The heavy sword collided with the arm, and following a metallic sound, the heavy sword in Marquis Xiaoyao's hand was instantly sent flying. However, that arm still carried a shocking might. It directly struck Marquis Xiaoyao's divine body. Marquis Xiaoyao's body shook, and the defense on the surface of his body immediately collapsed. His divine body also suffered an unprecedented impact at this moment. His divine body actually directly collapsed at this moment. This was not the end. At the same time that Marquis Xiaoyao's divine body collapsed, a terrifying devouring power was wantonly devouring Marquis Xiaoyao's divine power. In just an instant, more than 60% of Marquis Xiaoyao's divine power was devoured. Marquis Xiaoyao's immortal body was activated immediately. By using up the remaining divine power, his body was finally reassembled. However, after reassembling, his aura was extremely weak. His divine power was only left with less than 20%. Run! After reassembling his divine body, Marquis Xiaoyao did not hesitate at all. He frantically fled to the side, pulling away from the sloppy old man. As he fled, his face was also filled with unprecedented horror. If you have problems with this website, please continue reading your novel on our new website MyBox Novel. Thanks. One move. In just one move, he had defeated his most powerful ultimate skill and destroyed his divine body, causing him to lose more than 80% of his divine power in an instant. Such strength was too terrifying. The numerous principals masters from the Temporal Temple and Xiaoyao Mansion, who were also in the secret realm of heaven and earth, was completely stunned by the scene before them. Who was Marquis Xiaoyao? He was the mansion master of the Xiaoyao Mansion. Although there were more than 10 principals masters present, Marquis Xiaoyao was definitely the most powerful one apart from Jian Wushuang. Moreover, the Xiaoyao Mansion was good at fighting head-on. He had mastered the two violent principals' powers of destruction and thunder at the same time. Moreover, he had perfectly combined them together with an absolute art to unleash the most powerful attack. Even Jian Wushuang felt inferior to him. But now, his most powerful attack was so weak in front of the sloppy old man? How is this possible? The mansion master's divine body was destroyed in one move, and he lost so much divine power. Does this mean that he can kill the mansion master if he attacks again? This man's strength is so terrifying. Terrifying. These two words appeared in everyone's hearts. And the many principals masters present looked at the sloppy old man with eyes filled with terror. At the same time, they all understood that this sloppy old man probably did not have any intention of killing them, so he only attacked to teach them a lesson, give them a warning and let them leave. Otherwise the four principals masters who had been severely injured by him would not have survived. But now the sloppy old man had shown up, and because of what Marquis Xiaoyao had said, he had clearly intended to kill them. On the other side, while he was shocked by the sloppy old man's strength, Jian Wushuang finally recognized him from the information provided by the Temporal Temple. Chen Hua. You are the genius elder of the Amethyst Demon Sect, Demon Master Chen Hua. Jian Wushuang's voice echoed in the secret realm. Hearing the name of Demon Master Chen Hua, the rule masters felt that he was a stranger. The Amethyst Demon Sect was too far away from the current era, and the principal's master was no longer active in the divine beginning realm. They had long been forgotten by the world. Of course, they did not know who the Demon Master Chen Hua was. However, as the mansion master of Xiaoyao Mansion, Marquis Xiaoyao, who had also lived for a relatively long time, had heard of the Demon Master Chen Hua. Demon Master Chen Hua? Is he that genius elder from the Amethyst Demon Sect who broke through to the Principal's Master Realm in less than 100,000 years and reached the 4th level of the Void Realm in 300,000 years? Marquis Xiaoyao's eyes were also filled with shock. How is this possible? Shouldn't this Demon Master Chen Hua have been killed by the experts of the Flame Saint Realm during that battle? Marquis Xiaoyao did not know. During the battle that destroyed the Amethyst Demon Sect, many of the top experts of the Amethyst Demon Sect were killed, including more than 90% of the Principal's Masters. However, there were also some who were lucky enough to survive. For example, this Demon Master Chen Hua. Because of some reasons he had been staying in the secret realm of heaven and earth and had not participated in the battle. Of course, the Flame Saint Realm had not been able to kill him. However, the Flame Saint Realm had not announced it to the public, so everyone thought that this genius elder had also died in that battle. However, that was not the case. Chapter 3363, Genius Elder, Demon Master Chen Hua? After Jian Wushuang said the name of the sloppy old man fell into deep thought. Demon Master Chen Hua. It's so familiar, so familiar. Yes, that's my name, Demon Master Chen Hua. The sloppy old man's eyes flashed with a fierce light. After thinking of his name, a large amount of memories and thoughts flooded in. After all, Demon Master Chen was a powerful principles master. It was only because he had waited for so long in this secret realm of heaven and earth that he gradually forgot himself and began to forget everything. However, these things that he forgot would form memories that would remain in his mind. As long as he was reminded, these memories would be recalled one by one. Tam the Amethyst Demon Sect's Demon Master Chen. That is my root. When I was young, Master had led me into the demon sect and taught me with great care. I did well. In less than 100,000 years, I broke through to become the Principles Master and became the #1 genius of the Amethyst Demon Sect. In the following 200,000 years, I made a name for myself in the Divine Beginning Realm, letting everyone in the Divine Beginning Realm know my name, Demon Master Chen. My master is also very pleased with my achievements. The elders in the sect master, are also full of expectations for me. As long as I improve my strength, the overall strength of the Amethyst Demon Sect will be able to completely surpass those great sects in Third Heaven. Originally, everything was developing in a good direction. However, one day a disaster arrived. The Flame Saint Realm is the Flame Saint Realm. They attacked our Amethyst Demon Sect and massacred our experts. My master, the sect master, and many top experts of our Purple Star Demon Sect were annihilated in that battle. Among the many elders, I was the only one who brought the final hope of the Amethyst Demon Sect's rise to power. I lay dormant in this secret realm of heaven and earth. Flame Saint Realm. Damned Flame Saint Realm. A bunch of trash, they all deserve to die. The sloppy old man who was the Demon Master Chen had a look of delight on his face when he spoke at the beginning. However, as he spoke, his voice became more and more impassioned, and his face became redder and redder. In the end, his eyes turned scarlet, he became completely crazed. Kill. People from the Flame Saint Realm deserve to die. Boom. A world-shaking killing intent crazily burst out of Demon Master Chen. The aura emitted by Demon Master Chen reached a new level at this moment. This level was enough to make experts like Marquis Xiaoyao and Jianghu tremble in fear. Oh no. This Demon Master is completely crazy. He has been alone in the secret land of heaven and earth for nearly 200 million years. It's fine if he forgot his memory before, but now that he remembered it with a towering hatred, it's no wonder he's crazy. Jianghu's face was unsightly. At this moment he saw the crazy demon master suddenly let out a roar. The roar shook the sky and tore the void in an instant, forming a terrifying shock wave. It swept wildly in all directions. Just a roar and it tore through space? Jianghu was shocked, but he immediately shouted, "Be careful, retreat quickly." In fact, without Jianghu's reminder, the experts from both the Temporal Temple and the Xiaoyao Mansion had already retreated far away when they saw Demon Master sunk into madness and recalled his terrifying strength. They stood in the distance and watched in horror as the shock wave created by Demon Master Chen's roar shattered many palaces and pavilions in the secret realm of heaven and earth and razed the entire building complex to the ground. What's wrong with Demon Master Chen? It's fine that he's mad, but how could he be so powerful? Marquis Xiaoyao was the most terrified among them. He had fled to the edge of the secret realm of heaven and earth. He looked at the Demon Master from afar. If you have problems with this website, please continue reading your novel on our new website MyBox Novel. Thanks. As for Jianghu, he was not far away from Marquis Xiaoyao, and his face was very solemn. According to the information, when the Flame Saint Realm destroyed the Amethyst Demon Sect, Demon Master Chen was only a rule master of the Void Four Realms. At most, he was at the peak of the Void Four Realms. But now, the strength he displayed, he had injured Marquis Xiaoyao in one move and almost killed him. With a roar, he shattered the void. Even experts at the peak of the 5 Void Realms or even the 5 Void Realms could not achieve such terrifying strength. Obviously, the strength of this Demon Master was at least at the level of the 6 Void Realms. As for what level he was at among the 6 Void Realms, it was unknown. However, Jianghu guessed that the Demon Master must be very strong among the 6 realms of the void. It was quite normal for him to advance from the peak of the 4th realm of the void to the 6th realm of the void in nearly 200 million years. However, don't forget the environment that Demon Master was in. He had been staying in this secret realm of heaven and earth and was completely isolated from the outside world. There were no opportunities, no experiences, and he could not even interact with anyone. There was only boredom and loneliness. In such an environment, ordinary people would have long gone mad, not to mention trying to find ways to improve their strength. Moreover, even if he could stabilize his mind and cultivate, he could still improve his strength very slowly by immersing himself in cultivation and not having any contact with the outside world. Once he encountered a bottleneck, he might be trapped there and could not improve at all. For example, although Jian Wushuang occasionally went into closed-door cultivation, he would not stay in it for too long because he knew that blindly cultivating in closed-door cultivation was far from being comparable to his adventures outside. And this demon master Chen Hua had stayed in such a crazy environment for nearly 200 million years, yet his strength could still increase so much. It was indeed impressive. A genius elder is indeed a genius. Jian Wushuang secretly exclaimed. In the era when the Amethyst demon sect was still in existence, the demon master Chen Hua's talent could not be compared with his perfect life, but it was still very impressive. He became a principal's master in less than 100,000 years, he reached the fourth void realm in less than 300,000 years. Such a speed of improvement could make countless top geniuses in the divine beginning realm look up to him. However, this genius elder is a bit tricky now. Jian Wushuang frowned and looked at the crazy demon master in the void in front of him. The eyes of the demon master were scarlet and filled with shocking killing intent. It seemed that he wanted to kill everyone here and he really had such strength. It seems that I have to find a way to calm him down first. Jian Wushuang narrowed his eyes slightly. Chapter 3364, Persuasion, Part 1. All of you should die. Demon Master Chen Hua was completely mad. At this moment he was like a peerless ferocious beast from ancient times. His body suddenly flashed, and no one had the time to react, he had already appeared in front of the nearest principal's master from Xiaoyao mansion. Then, his right hand struck out like lightning, directly piercing through the god body of that principal's master, and the strange power contained in that palm. Almost instantly, all the divine power of the principal's master in the second realm of the void realm was destroyed. In the blink of an eye, the principal's master of the Xiaoyao mansion had died. The other principal's masters around were shocked when they saw this scene. Jian Wushuang, on the other hand, immediately made his move. Paint the ground as a prison, space-time binding. Jian Wushuang waved his hand, and the vast power of space-time principles that covered the surrounding area instantly covered Demon Master Chen Hua. Space-time binding was also a move in the space-time prison. It was used to restrict the opponent's movements while completely confining the surrounding space-time. However, when the space-time binding was applied to Demon Master, he only shook his body slightly and then broke free. As expected, my space-time binding, even with the help of the golden sky painting flag, can only restrict an ordinary expert of the fifth void realm. It's impossible to restrict an expert of the sixth void realm like Demon Master. Jian Wushuang's face darkened. He had to find a way to stop Demon Master Chen Hua. Otherwise, if he continued to kill like this, there would be no one in the secret realm who could escape. Suddenly, Jian Wushuang's expression changed. He shouted at Demon Master Chen Hua, "Demon Master Chen Hua, your Amethyst Demon Sect has been destroyed. As a genius elder of the Amethyst Demon Sect, don't you want to avenge the Amethyst Demon Sect?" Jian Wushuang's voice was loud and clear, echoing throughout the secret realm of heaven and earth. Of course, Demon Master Chen Hua heard it clearly, and his body suddenly stopped in the void. His scarlet eyes were filled with shocking killing intent. He suddenly looked at Jian Wushuang and asked, "What did you say?" Jian Wushuang narrowed his eyes. He said in a low voice, "Demon Master Chen Hua, since you can control your body, it seems that you still have your rationality. I'm telling you now, if you still have the slightest intention of avenging the Amethyst Demon Sect, then stop. But if you don't have the intention of avenging the Amethyst Demon Sect, then you can continue to kill." Demon Master Chen Hua was already standing there. His killing intent was still soaring, but the scarlet in his eyes slowly faded away. His earth-shaking aura also slowly faded away. Seeing this scene, Jian Wushuang also heaved a sigh of relief. Has he finally stopped? Jian Wushuang was also very nervous. He did not know whether his words could make Demon Master Chen Hua stop. However, he could see that although Demon Master Chen Hua looked crazy, as a principal's master of the six void realms, no matter how crazy he was, he should be able to maintain a trace of rationality. Moreover, he valued the Amethyst Demon Sect so much, so his words should make Demon Master Chen Hua somewhat worried. As expected, when Demon Master Chen Hua heard his words, although his killing intent did not weaken, he stopped killing for the time being. "Boy, what do you mean by what you said just now?" Demon Master Chen Hua stared at Jian Wushuang with cold eyes. Jian Wushuang took a deep breath, then he said, "Demon Master Chen Hua, I've made myself clear. If you kill all of us here, I guarantee you'll lose your only chance to avenge your Amethyst Demon Sect." Huh. Demon Master Chen Hua's pupils constricted slightly. He did not speak but listened to Jian Wushuang's story. Demon Master Chen Hua, you should have already noticed that I'm not an expert under the command of the Flame Saint Realm. I'm from the Temporal Temple. Jian Wushuang said. Temporal Temple? Demon Master Chen Hua's memories of the Temporal Temple immediately appeared in his mind, but his expression remained calm. The Temporal Temple is indeed an ancient overlord. Even when the Amethyst Demon sect was at its peak, we didn't dare to provoke it. However, now that the Amethyst Demon sect has been destroyed, I'm the only one left. I'm not afraid of your Temporal Temple. Even if I kill all of your people here, what can the Temporal Temple do to me? The Demon Master Chen Hua was not conceited, but he did indeed have the ability to do so. One had to know that he was now a super expert of the 6 states of the void. In the Divine Beginning Realm, unless the 3 Great Saint Realm Masters or those few rulers personally took action, no one could do anything to him. Although the Temporal Temple had a deep foundation and was powerful, under the circumstance that the Temporal Temple Master did not personally take action, they probably could not do anything to the Demon Master Chen Hua. After all, the Demon Master Chen Hua was not only terrifyingly powerful. The Amethyst Demon sect had long been destroyed, so there was nothing that could restrain or restrict him. As the saying went, a barefooted person was not afraid of wearing shoes. It was true that the Demon Master did not care about the Temporal Temple at the moment. Demon Master, with your current strength, the Temporal Temple is indeed unable to do anything to you. However, you have lived from the Amethyst Demon sect's era until now. You should know the position of the Temporal Temple. The Temporal Temple and the Flame Holy Region have always been on opposite sides. They have even been fighting for a long time. Although this kind of fight will not affect the status of the Flame Saint Realm, it will often cause pain to the Flame Saint Realm. If you have problems with this website, please continue reading your novel on our new website MyBox Novel. Thanks. Besides, the person standing in front of you has the same hatred with the Flame Saint Realm as you do. He will not rest until one of us is dead. Jian Wushuang said. The person standing in front of me? Are you talking about yourself? Demon Master Chen Hua looked at Jian Wushuang. Yes, it's me. Jian Wushuang smiled. Not only do I have a hatred with the Flame Saint Realm, but I also have a hatred with the other 2 Saint Realms. The 3 Saint Realms have risked their lives to kill me more than once or twice. It can be said that they and I are absolutely dead. There is no turning back. Kid, why didn't you look in the mirror before you lied? Who do you think you are? However, for a mere immortal saint, if you were to say that you have a feud with the 3 Great Saint Realms, this old man would believe you. However, you actually said that the 3 Great Saint Realms had risked everything to kill you multiple times. If the 3 Great Saint Realms really risked everything to kill you, would you still be alive? Who do you think you are? Demon Master Chen Hua sneered. Demon Master Chen Hua, I'm not lying to you. The feud between me and the 3 Saint Realms, and the 3 Saint Realms have risked their lives to kill me many times, is known by everyone in the Divine Beginning Realm. You can go out and ask anyone, Jian Wushuang said seriously. Chapter 3365, Persuasion, Part 2. Is this kid really as he said? The 3 Saint Realms are willing to do anything to kill him? Demon Master Chen Hua frowned. At this moment, Marquis Xiaoyao, who had already escaped to the edge of the secret realm, hurriedly spoke. Demon Master Chen Hua, what Heavenly Sword Marquis said is true. I have a mirror image of him fighting with the 3 Saint Realms. You can take a look. After saying that, Marquis Xiaoyao waved his hand and threw a mirror token at Demon Master Chen Hua. Demon Master Chen Hua took the mirror token and began to read it. The mirror token was the scene of Jian Wushuang fighting with the 3 Saint Realms on the Saha Island more than 400 years ago. The battle was earth-shaking and there were many experts watching the battle. Naturally, someone recorded the scene with the mirror token. The mirror image had long been spread in the Divine Beginning Realm. Marquis Xiaoyao happened to have one in his hands. Demon Master Chen Hua looked at the scene in the mirror token. At first he was only surprised, but later, it completely turned into shock. In the end, even he was shocked. Boy, you are an immortal saint. How could you fight with the 3 Saint Realms and severely injure Saint Master Yen and Sorcerer God? Demon Master Chen Hua looked at Jian Wushuang in shock. Demon Master Chen Hua, you should believe me now. Jian Wushuang said seriously, as I said, I have been fighting with the 3 Saint Realms for a long time, including the Saint Realm of Fire, which was responsible for the destruction of the Amethyst Demon sect. The so-called enemy of the enemy is a friend. Demon Master Chen Hua, we should stand on the same side. If we fight, the Saint Realm of Fire will be secretly happy. You're right. Demon Master Chen Hua nodded slightly, and the killing intent in his body began to weaken. Since you're fighting with the Flame Saint Realm so fiercely, and you even heavily injured the Flame Saint Master, I won't hold you responsible for breaking into the heaven and earth secret realm and offending me. You can leave now. It was obvious that Demon Master Chen Hua had no intention to attack Jian Wushuang and the others. In fact, he did not intend to kill Jian Wushuang and the others because he had held back before. It was only because Marquis Xiaoyao had angered him and he had just remembered the destruction of the Amethyst demon sect that he began to kill them. But now, when he saw the mirror image of Jian Wushuang severely injuring Saint Master Yen, the anger in his heart had disappeared, and he even had a good impression of Jian Wushuang. After all, he hated Saint Master Yen to the bone. Jian Wushuang had severely injured Saint Master Yen, and he had already vented his anger on him. Demon Master Chen Hua, don't dismiss me yet. I think the two of us can have a good talk, Jian Wushuang said. Talk about what? Demon Master Chen Hua looked over. About what I said before. Do you still have any thoughts of avenging the Amethyst demon sect? Jian Wushuang asked. A fierce light flashed in Demon Master's eyes. Jian Wushuang smiled and glanced at the principal's masters around him. I've asked the outsiders to reopen the secret realm. Leave and let me talk to Demon Master. Yes. The principal's masters obeyed Jian Wushuang's order. As for Marquis Xiaoyao, he had come to the secret land of heaven and earth to obtain the treasures left behind by the Amethyst demon sect. However, he did not obtain the treasures and opportunities. Instead, he was severely injured. Moreover, a principal's master of his Xiaoyao mansion had been killed by Demon Master Chen Hua. This made him extremely aggrieved and unwilling. However, no matter how aggrieved and unwilling he was, once he thought of the terrifying strength of Demon Master Chen Hua, he could not think of anything else. Shaking his head, Marquis Xiaoyao could only leave with the rest of the people from Xiaoyao Mansion. In the blink of an eye, all the principal's masters had left, leaving Jian Wushuang alone in the secret land of heaven and earth to look at Demon Master Chen Hua. Boy, you're an immortal saint, but you can make so many principal's masters obey you. You're really capable, Demon Master Chen Hua praised. Jian Wushuang only smiled faintly. Alright, what do you want to say? Speak, Demon Master Chen Hua said. Demon Master Chen Hua, you should have noticed that although I'm only an immortal saint, I'm very special, Jian Wushuang said with a smile. I can make principal's masters obey me and be respectful to me. I can also kill ordinary principal's masters. In the Great War 400 years ago, I was able to fight the Flame Saint Master and the Sorcerer God at the same time and severely injure them. Yes. Yes, you are special, or rather heaven-defying. When I was young, I was also called a peerless genius. But compared to you, I am nothing. But no matter how special you are or how talented you are, what does it have to do with me? Demon Master Chen Hua said in a deep voice. Of course I care. Demon Master Chen Hua, as I said before, the three Saint Realms will do anything to kill me. This is no joke. More than 400 years ago, they set up an inescapable net to kill me. They even sent the three Saint Realm Masters and the Sorcerer God, who has the battle strength of a Saint Realm Master, to kill me. It shows how much the three Saint Realms value me, Jian Wushuang said. If you have problems with this website, please continue reading your novel on our new website MyBox Novel. Thanks. Indeed. This is the first time I've heard of the three Saint Realms going all out to kill an immortal saint. Even a top principal's master, or even some of the top sects in the Divine Beginning Realm, shouldn't be able to make the three Saint Realms go through so much trouble, let alone an immortal saint. Then do you know why the three Saint Realms are so desperate to kill me? Jian Wushuang asked with a smile. Demon Master Chen Hua was stunned. Many thoughts appeared in his mind, but he quickly thought of the most likely possibility. As far as I know, the three Saint Realms have never been so desperate to deal with someone, but now they are dealing with you. Do the three Saint Realms think you can threaten their status? Demon Master Chen Hua said with a serious expression. As he said this, he found it hard to believe. How ancient were the three Saint Realms in the Divine Beginning Realm? And how powerful were they? They had the power of the will of the heavenly Tao. They were the true rulers of the Divine Beginning Realm. For a long time, no one had been able to subvert the notice of the three Saint Realms, even if it was the three Freedom Alliances. Although the three Freedom Alliances were so powerful that even the three Saint Realms feared them, no matter how powerful the three Saint Realms were, they could not threaten the status of the three Saint Realms. Yet, a single cultivator, and he was just an immortal saint, was able to pose such a great threat to the three great Saint Realms? Was this possible? Chapter 3366, Persuasion, Part 3, You're right. The reason why the three Saint Realms are so desperate to kill me is because I can threaten their position. To be more precise, I'm a great threat to the will of heaven behind them. Jian Wushuang's voice was low. Demon Master Chen Hua, you should know that the will of the heavenly Tao is behind the three saint realms. With the support of the will of the heavenly Tao, it's almost impossible to shake the position of the three saint realms. Even if you're extremely talented and will break through to the ruler level in the future, as long as the will of the heavenly Tao exists, you'll never be able to pose a real threat to the three saint realms. But I can. Jian Wushuang spoke with absolute confidence. What he said was the truth. In the divine beginning realm, with the support of the will of the heavenly Tao, almost no one could threaten the three saint realms. Not even a master-level expert. For example, the three freedom alliances had a master-level expert behind them, but they had been helpless against the three saint realms. Demon Master Chen Hua, I'm the only one in the divine beginning realm who can pose a threat to the will of the heavenly Tao. Although I'm still weak, given a certain amount of time I can destroy the will of the heavenly Tao and destroy the three saint realms at the same time. Your enemy happens to be the flame saint realm of the three saint realms, so we can join forces, Jian Wushuang said. Join hands? Oh. Demon Master Chen Hua asked. As I said, what I need now is time, but the three saint realms will not let me grow like this. They will certainly try to hinder my growth and even fight to the death with some special means to kill me. At this time, of course, I need some help, Jian Wushuang said. Demon Master Chen Hua had clearly understood Jian Wushuang's intention. Boy, don't tell me you want me to be your bodyguard? I can be considered a bodyguard, but to be exact, you and I are equal. You protect me so that I can continue to grow. When my strength reaches a certain level, I will destroy the Flame Saint realm and avenge your Amethyst demon sect. How about it? Jian Wushuang said. Upon hearing this, Demon Master Chen Hua sneered. Boy, do you want me to be by your side and be your guard? Putting aside whether you can really pose such a great threat to the will of the heavenly Tao and the three saint realms, even if you can, who knows how long it will take. If you need tens of millions of years, hundreds of millions of years, wouldn't I have to guard you for so many years? You want me to be your guard with just a few words? You're dreaming. Demon Master Chen Hua, you should already have an answer to whether I can threaten the will of heaven and the three saint realms in the future. As for the time required, it's not as long as you think. I can guarantee that within 100,000 years, I will destroy the Flame Saint realm. If I can't do it, or if you don't see my progress in these 100,000 years and feel that there's no hope, you can leave at any time. 100,000 years. Jian Wushuang said. 100,000 years? Demon Master Chen Hua looked at Jian Wushuang in surprise. You're just an immortal saint now. How can you reach that level in just 100,000 years? I'm confident. Jian Wushuang smiled. In fact, Jian Wushuang was not very confident. Although 100,000 years was not a short time, it was very, very difficult for him to reach the point where he could threaten the will of the heavenly Tao and shake the three saint realms. As for why Jian Wushuang was so confident, it was because he had learned from the Temporal Temple Master that the three saint realms could invite outside help at the Overlord level. According to his guess, if the three saint realms really invited outside help, then 100,000 years would have passed. At that time, if he had not reached the stage where he could threaten the will of the heavenly Tao and shake the three saint realms, then it would be the same with or without the protection of Demon Master Chen Hua. Seeing the confidence on Jian Wushuang's face, Demon Master Chen Hua began to ponder. With this thought, Jian Wushuang saw that there was hope. He immediately continued, Demon Master Chen Hua, if you are willing to join hands with me and follow me, I will find a way to make you a consecrator of my temporal temple. This consecrator is a special existence in the temporal temple. He can disobey the orders of my temporal temple, but he can enjoy many of the benefits of my temporal temple, such as the Amethyst demon sect. Although the Amethyst demon sect has been destroyed for so many years, there were still quite a number of people who survived that battle. Most of these experts who survived have probably died, but it's not certain that no one left behind. Perhaps there are still experts left behind by the Amethyst demon sect hiding in the divine beginning realm. And if you become a consecrator of my temporal temple, you can ask my temporal temple to help find the traces of these people. If you have problems with this website, please continue reading your novel on our new website MyBox Novel. Thanks. Although the intelligence ability of the temporal temple is not the best in the divine beginning realm, it is still very good. As long as you give the order, the intelligence department can secretly find the people left behind by the Amethyst demon sect without the Flame Saint realm noticing it in advance. After saying that, Jian Wushuang looked at Demon Master Chen Hua again. At this moment, Demon Master Chen Hua was already moved. Indeed, just as Jian Wushuang said, he valued the Amethyst demon sect very much. Because of that, after the destruction of the Amethyst demon sect, he hated the Flame Saint realm to the extreme. He wanted to avenge the Amethyst demon sect, He wanted to completely destroy the Flame Saint realm, and he wanted to kill the Flame Saint Master. However, with his ability, it was very difficult for him to pose a threat to the Flame Saint realm, let alone completely destroy it. Even if he was lucky enough to break through to the ruler level in the future, he was only qualified to be on equal footing with the Flame Saint realm. With the power of the will of heaven, it was still impossible for him to destroy the Flame Saint realm. But now Jian Wushuang's appearance gave him a glimmer of hope. Although this hope seemed very small and strange, it was indeed the only chance for him to avenge the Amethyst demon sect. Of course, he wanted to seize the last chance. In addition, Jian Wushuang also said that he only needed to protect them for 100,000 years. If there was no hope within 100,000 years, he could leave at any time. 100,000 years was insignificant to him, who had stayed in the secret land of heaven and earth for nearly 200 million years. Moreover, the authority Jian Wushuang mentioned in the end made Demon Master Chen Hua even more tempted. After hesitating for a long time, Demon Master Chen Hua finally nodded and said, "Okay, I agree." Chapter 3367. Guard Jian Wushuang was overjoyed when he saw Demon Master Chen Hua agree. Demon Master Chen Hua was a super expert of the 6 realms of the void, and he was once a genius elder with great talent. He was completely alone in this secret realm of heaven and earth without any experience. His strength had improved so much. One could imagine how fast he would improve if he left the secret realm of heaven and earth and went to the divine beginning realm to fight with experts. Without a doubt, Demon Master Chen Hua was qualified to strive for the master level. However, such a super expert would stay by his side and be his guard for the next 100,000 years. How could Jian Wushuang not be surprised? "Boy, your name is Heavenly Sword Marquis, right?" Demon Master Chen Hua looked at Jian Wushuang again. "Don't be happy too early. Let me be clear. Although I promise to stay by your side and be your guard for the next 100,000 years, all I have to do is to protect you. I may not help you with other things. Moreover, you are now highly valued by the 3 Saint Realms. The 3 Saint Realms will certainly try to kill you again. If I can handle it, I will help you. But if I can't handle it and even my life is in danger, don't blame me for running away. Of course, although you are my guard, you have an equal relationship with me. If I want you to do something for me, I will ask for your opinion in advance. If you don't want to, I will not force you," Jian Wushuang said with a smile. He did not feel regretful. He knew that it was impossible for him to command Demon Master Chen Hua like an ordinary guard. However, as long as Demon Master Chen Hua agreed to protect him with all his strength, it was enough, not to mention anything else. A super expert of the 6th realm of the void was enough to intimidate his opponent. Demon Master Chen Hua, now that it's settled, we're on the same side. Can you tell me what level your strength has been in all these years? Jian Wushuang suddenly asked. He was indeed quite curious about the strength of Demon Master Chen Hua. Through his previous attacks, although he knew that Demon Master Chen Hua had the battle strength of the 6th realm of the void, he did not know how powerful Demon Master Chen Hua was among the 6 realms of the void. He also had control over the specific power of his will. Jian Wushuang wanted to have a certain understanding of the rules he comprehended. "My strength should be at the peak of the 6 void realms," Demon Master Chen Hua said. "The peak of the 6 void realms?" Jian Wushuang was stunned. Although the 6 void realms were at the same level, there was a huge gap in strength. Temple Master Bai Xing and Star River Master could only be considered normal or average among the 6 void realms. As for the 4 ancient immortals who had followed the temporal Temple Master to sweep through the 6 realms, these 4 ancient existences were considered extremely powerful existences among the 6 realms of the void. They should be considered at the peak level. As for those above the 4 ancient immortals, they were at the level of Elder Dark Bone. Elder Dark Bone was someone who could fight against the Saint Realm Master. His strength could be said to have reached the peak among the 6 realms of the void. As a peak existence among the 6 void realms, Demon Master Chen Hua was no weaker than Old Monster Abyssal Bone. However, he was no weaker than the 4 ancient immortals. Demon Master Chen Hua, since you are at the peak of the 6 void realms, your comprehension of the principles, Jian Wushuang looked over. They've mastered the 3 principles of darkness, wind, and slaughter at the same time, and the 3 principles have been completely merged together. In addition, I have opened the secret realm of heaven and earth, so I naturally have mastered 6 portions of the power of the will. Now, I am still focused on studying the principles of the earth, and I have already comprehended most of them. I should be able to master the 7th portion of the power of the will in a short time. By then, I will be able to improve my strength and reach the peak of the 6 void realms. Demon Master Chen Hua said. Demon Master Chen Hua said. Jian Wushuang could not help but raise his eyebrows. The level of Principles Master was usually determined by the power of the will. However, because Principles Master was only in the 6 realms of the void, even if you had mastered 7 parts of the power of the will, you could only be in the 6 realms of the void. However, it had already reached the peak. Because if you integrated 4 principles at the same time, you would be at the ruler level. For example, Elder Darkbone had mastered 7 parts of the power of will. The gap between Demon Master Darkbone and Master of the Earth Principles was very small. This meant that he was very close to Elder Darkbone. With such a powerful Principles Master as a guard, I really made a lot of money. Jian Wushuang laughed in his heart, then he asked, Demon Master Chenhua, I entered the secret realm of heaven and earth for the opportunity treasures left by the Amethyst Demon sect. You should know where they are, right? If you have problems with this website, please continue reading your novel on our new website MyBox Novel. Thanks. Of course I do. Those resources and treasures were accumulated by the Amethyst Demon sect over a long period of time. They are in my hands. Do you want them? Demon Master Chenhua's eyes were sharp. He stared at Jian Wushuang. You have them. Jian Wushuang smiled, then he continued, Don't misunderstand. I'm not interested in this batch of treasures. I came here under orders. As for whether I can get this batch of treasures in the end, I don't care too much. But, if possible, I hope you can find a few things that the Immortal Saint can use or opportunities that can help him. An opportunity or treasure that can help the Immortal Saint? The Demon Master Chenhua's expression changed. You're also an Immortal Saint. Why do you want to use it for yourself? Of course not. With my strength, I can't use treasures or opportunities at the Immortal Saint realm. However, I have a few Saint realm friends outside the secret realm. They were the first to find the secret realm. I promised them that I would give them some opportunities, Jian Wushuang said. Is that so? Demon Master Chenhua nodded slightly. It's just a few opportunities or treasures that the Immortal Saints can use. It doesn't matter much. I can give you some so that you can share it with them. Thank you very much. Jian Wushuang could not help but smile. In fact, with his current status and the fact that he had killed many Principles Masters in the battle more than 400 years ago, he had a lot of resources and treasures, but the Immortal Saints could use very few of them, therefore he could only ask the Demon Master Chenhua for some. After the two of them reached an agreement, they did not continue to stay in the secret realm. Instead, they left directly. You're tuning in to the Han Li's Wuxia Adventures YouTube channel. We're so grateful for your support, and don't forget to subscribe to join us on this incredible journey through captivating stories. Your generosity through donations truly makes a world of difference, as it's the primary source of revenue that allows me to expand and enhance this channel for you. Thank you from the bottom of my heart for being a part of this adventure.